charge fight, kill you, and then do a free charge into another guy and tie you up.
Right, okay.
So that's why my comments on those equipment choices. Over here for your equipment choices. So you got cracks, I like that, into elites. You definitely want to keep up as much piercing as you can. Flayed skin, it's an auto take, you always want to be taking that, you want to be turning off their rerolls. Especially if they're hitting on 3s, because then they can only reroll their 2s. Ladders, you're taking ladders, right? Yeah, I don't hate that, but you're also fairly mobile. With 3 APL, what are you really using it for? Are you going to reposition a guy up here? Where are you, looking at this map, where are you going to put your ladders?
Getting up here was my main thing.
That was probably it.
Maybe having, yeah, here it's not really useful, but here especially I wanted to have a ladder.
Yeah, and what was the logic behind getting up here?
Just to kind of contest in the middle, I thought.
Yeah, but if you're contesting up here, you're not going to be controlling the point. So I'm not saying it's incorrect, I'm saying there's things to weigh on here. I'm sure you can then go on this advantage and move up here and shoot a guy who stays behind here.
Right.
But you may as well get the same advantage down here, and you're going to be wanting to melee with a lot of your guys as well.
So maybe I'll switch
now, the reason I don't completely hate it is because Plague Marines are slow, and if you're up here, they're almost certainly not going to get you up there unless they're staging really aggressively and then spending all their movement to get up to you. So you're fairly safe from their melee threats if you're on advantage.
What I wanted to do is to like get my guys up early and kind of draw him to me, but be past the center line. I want to be over his center line. I want to do it as fast as possible, because if I don't take advantage of that and I let him come to me, I find in other games that I've played them a lot, is that they just smash. As soon as they hit like a brick.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Brick house. So I want to be the one to get the advantage and get the advantage on them. So even if it's just for the one ladder, I thought put one here, maybe one here, and then I have like a plan. I could kind of move up turning point one and then threaten his next.
And another thing to consider, 5-inch movement, 6-inch movement. So you can be really clever with that and get some non-reciprocal charges off.
Right.
Because if you're both the same distance away from each other, you can be, say, 8 inches away here, 7 inches away here. You can charge him, he can't charge you. Last comment, chain snares. Is he likely to be falling back?
Oh, we were just talking about this.
Probably not. I think if he's falling back, you're very happy about that.
Yeah, that's true.
His melee's pretty good, apart from when he's got fists, but he can take blade knives as well. I mean, when you're choosing your equipment, you don't know what he's taking at this point.
Right.
So, assume he's going to take blade knives because he knows he's going to be in combat with you, so at least he can deal some more damage that way. But I don't think he's going to be falling back. Because he's got the leader with really good fists, you've got the fighter with the flail, and then everyone else is sort of... So, is everyone else base fists, unless you give them blade knives?
You can choose to grab one and take it off.
Staff, only 2 fists.
Yeah, so most of them are going to be sort of 3-4 damage unless you upgrade them with your blade knives.
Can you though?
No,
if they don't have a blade knife, you give them one to
you can activate it once per turn.
Okay.
So I guess if you were like,
I'm thinking of a different thing.
yeah, don't
Your memory's better than me. Excellent, cool. So you've done things correctly. Yeah, I would suggest maybe choose something different to chain snares, because if he's spending 2 APL to fall back from you, I think you're happy with that.
One or two.
So maybe I'll take Grizzly Trophy.
Grizzly Trophy's nice. I like it. The only thing is you have to remember to use it. There are so many games I've played Nemesis Claw and I've forgotten to put my Grizzly Trophy down. Second thing, you have to kill someone to get the benefit. So you need to already have sort of gotten a bit of an advantage to then use it on subsequent actions. So I like it a lot more when you're not playing elites. I don't hate it necessarily in this matchup, but it does require you to have established a bit of an advantage early.
Like if you're playing really in your face, you want to keep advancing, like Stormongers?
I don't know, I don't think barricades, I don't want to restrict too much of my movement moving along the board.
Yeah,
everything else is through the...
Because you're the aggressor in this matchup. You want to be up in his face.
I don't know that. Probably... I don't know that. I might just take the Grizzly Trophy.
Yeah.
Remember to use it.
Yeah, and getting used to what faction equipment you have, just getting that.
Okay, cool.
Cool, so over here we've got Flayed Skin, we've got Grizzly trophy, ladders, and we've got frag grenades. And then we've got
Playgrounds.
playgrounds.
The big bells.
Big bells, yeah.
Ladders.
Ladders. And are you doing blind grenades or no?
No, because my grenade guys already come with grenades.
I mean, it's just created frag grenades.
Yeah. So the other fourth one.
Yeah, because we were going back and forth on stuns and smokes,
Yeah.
and we decided maybe
Yeah.
the one thing I do like about stun grenades is it gives you something to do on turn while you're in concealed. Then you can be 6 inches, but with your movements it might not be possible to get there without exposing yourself next turn.
So you think barbed wires will be advanced on higher movement people?
Yeah, because you don't want him coming and punching you because you know he's a more melee foot.
So I'll grab barbed wire.
Okay, great.
What did you exchange it for?
So instead of stuns or smokes, what we were going back and forth on? Alright, so place your equipment in the kill zone. That used to be in the kill zone.
Saving on fours, you know.
Looking good in the top shelf. Yeah.
Something, you can make it so that it's pretty reliable for
I
your
haven't even gotten that far.
So that's kind of what you're going for is you win by if you're being aggressive, you win by being aggressive. Yeah, if you're trading one for one.
What's the itinerary today? You guys doing 2v1 or what are you guys doing?
So right now I believe last week it was a bit more of a slow process on really going through the beginning stages of the game. So now we're going to just try and run the game a little bit more smoothly, pick up the pace.
Now think about
And also watch their decisions and hold them to their decisions, but comment on
knowing
maybe
that
sure
you're
consider
picking all my
what's been done.
Okay, so a little less hand-holding, a little bit more like, okay guys, let's...
Yeah, and so just gone over equipment in a fair bit of depth about what things to consider in this matchup, especially because Calm is new to his team. So sort of explaining his role.
I'm putting my ladder there and there. I'm using tokens because mine are.
His role is I'm slow,
Cut them.
but try not to get past
knowing
you.
that this time, if you want to and want to play for it, you will have to spend
I have some questions for you later.
to be able to score maximum
Not
on the
legal
crit.
advice.
That's 6
But
actions
we are looking
spent through the whole game to be able to have
large Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
upload
Good shout.
I'll cut them later.
The last time I played this, if I upload here a top and there's no token, and he comes along and say he kills my guy,
and he uploads.
he uploads, it erases mine, and he immediately puts it on immediately.
Yeah, it takes yours away,
Okay.
puts his down, and you can no
How long
longer
how tall are yours?
Period.
that
I'm not
turning
sure
point
if you've
because
ever-
it has already gained one of
I
your
put two side by side.
But next turning point,
What the fuck is
still,
this, Wonderland?
he hasn't
Yeah.
quite completed.
Guys,
You don't know in
Side by
particular,
side.
and there's ways of doing it.
Right.
You get here, you can get up here.
Question is, for one extra point, you go for it.
I did it last game.
90% of stores.
Did you? Yeah.
90% of stores.
I had them side by side.
It lives
Store credit.
And I know why they do it.
Yeah.
It's a better business
Okay.
decision.
Yes.
remove all your opponents and
But I know the one time I did get cash, it was from
Uh-huh.
the loss you regional championship.
I
And
use
then
this to clear my mold lines.
it's no longer crit off that you can really say
there might be that sort of
early on
thing
in
inside
trying
when
to
it's
try and buy
income. You're going to check
because
people out
if your
here.
opponent
Even on the edge, I use it.
after you,
That's what I imagine you'll
that's
probably
theirs.
do.
That's right. Okay, it's theirs until the
No
next
problem.
turn.
So if you see a guy coming in, you might want to consider wiping it. If you think you're going to lose it.
Rob's watching.
You can't wipe it on yourself or just not hitting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty, boys, how we doing?
Okay, we're deploying, yeah? Okay, but we didn't roll.
Yeah, it's true.
To see.
Oh no, we didn't even do our scouting.
Yeah,
We got a scout.
have uploads
You
on
gotta
it.
deploy and then you scout.
You choose at the end, then we start point after first whether or not you want to
Okay,
scope.
but we didn't
Also,
roll
have you
for a
done
side.
rundowns on who you're bringing and everything like that?
No, not
How
really.
many tokens can you have on a thing per turn?
Okay, basically, I'll introduce it when I deploy.
Yeah,
How
so
about that?
starting in turning point 2,
Yeah, pick the attack off.
Right.
and each turning
But
point
two guys
will
could
do
come in
one
and
each.
I picked mine actually.
Oh, you picked your attack
No,
off already.
no,
Okay.
if a marker has already gained one of your upload tokens,
That's it.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about like the prescience points and
Yeah.
knowing the strategy phase. I gotta roll for those
Yeah,
points
absolutely.
and stuff, and then he can use that for different abilities.
Yeah.
I heard they have like good, someone explained it as good command point economy,
Yes.
right? So,
Much better than some teams.
right, especially if you can just make command points, that's
Yeah.
pretty good what side. So
Let's
we
do
don't
that.
know who's gonna. Okay, so let's
like,
just roll it up.
That's like if I fit, what do I want?
Oh, they fit in there?
Yeah.
Always.
Oh,
Six.
Alright, so we're on sabotage.
Yeah.
So you know you want to maybe be
Yeah.
getting to his side sooner than he gets to yours.
And left at 2:30.
Strictly speaking, the equipment should be after you decide which side you're on. Naturally, we can change that if you want to be on this side.
No, I'm good here. I'm good here. I think I have the advantage of just it's more clear out. All right.
Yeah, you're also denying him the second floor advantage.
Cool.
Be the same deal.
Deployment now. So I guess I'll deploy first.
Yes, because you have initiative, so you're going to place the first team.
Yeah, the week after should be fine.
So 6-inch, correct?
Yeah.
So last time we did a really deep dive into leading up, like the prep for the game and kind of first steps in 3.1. So this time we're
So this is my screecher. Basically only has a melee profile. And yeah, throws grenades too. Thanks, mate.
He's the most scary man. He has lightning claws, so his hands are full of claws, so he doesn't have space to hold the gun. But he can throw grenades. He has 5 attacks on 3s, lethal 5, 4/5 damage. If you've taken damage, it goes to lethal 4. And it's relentless as well. So if he touches you, you are getting sliced and diced. Most of your guys in melee only have 4 attack dice. So it's very easy for him to then parry you out and kill you. You're not going to do much in return. So be very scared of him. The other thing to be very scared about with him is within 3 inches of him, I want to say.
What's your
Yeah, within 3 inches, you can't re-roll your attack
Yeah,
defense.
yeah.
Completely turns off
You
your
chose
rerolls.
your
So his equipment, flayed skin, that just turns off rerolls of 1.
What combination?
Within 2 inches, he completely turns off your rerolls.
So if I have lumbering death, does this negate it?
Remind me what Lumbering Death does?
Lumber is ceaseless.
Yeah, ceaseless is a reroll, so you wouldn't be able to use that.
Oh, so lumbering death would be useless against.
And why?
Well, not against the team.
Just against him.
Him, he's going to turn off all your rerolls. You can still use ceaseless, but you just can't reroll your 1s if you're within 2 of them. If you're far away, then
Yeah, so but if you're melee fighting, I can.
yeah.
Okay, so well actually, so yeah, that's my creature and my melt. Actually, so I'm gonna just switch. I'm gonna put this guy inside, and I put the melt out.
I need to know what a melter does. It melts.
Yeah, you show me the profile. I'm like, yeah, that's scary.
It will be very common to one-shot a
team that needs a certain resource to be
With his
able to
roller
do
last week,
everything
yeah.
more. I think
Yeah.
stuns were a really good choice.
We'll see. We'll see.
I should even go for
Alright,
I'd be
Emma, you're up for
tempted
your
if
first deployment.
you are rightfully
Okay,
scared of his guns, but more so scared of his melee, right?
Yeah.
So the times when you're finding that you need to go out,
Only guy there.
I think you'll figure it out.
Okay.
Three
Only
isn't a
guy
bad
at
number.
station.
It'd be something you want to kind of play around with.
Yeah,
get a
yeah,
feel for, because at
So
that
is that
point
fighter
when
and
you play
warrior,
stuff,
or
Yes,
like,
fighter.
you'll find the way that you like to use it
Yeah.
best.
Your turn.
Max may have some input. How many against Hand of the Archon smokes and stun ratio?
I would take 2 or 2 probably.
Well,
No, it's probably
Speak your truth, Daniel. Speak your truth.
I'll give 3 and 1.
If you feel like you're
It's
gonna
really
try to
wrong.
be
It's
really
really-
ballsy and
So I'm
step out
placing
to
my
be able to
heavy
get the
gunner
shots that you need,
inside the
you're gonna want to be able to smoke yourself
right at the limit of
especially with
like,
your
my
cursors,
deployment.
because then there's
Heavy gunner is
you're
basically
ignoring it.
missile launcher. I have a frag and a crack profile for that. Hits on 3s, 3-5,
okay,
last
so
2 for the frag.
do scouting.
And I can only do that on a heavy, so heavy is my reposition, so I think you're going to move 3 inches.
It's heavy brackets reposition, right?
Yeah.
Or is it heavy dash?
No, heavy brackets reposition.
So you can do your full reposition 6 inches,
Oh,
but you can't move dash.
Oh, yeah.
Getting
I
way
see.
ahead.
So that's it. And then I have the crack, which gives me piercing 1 only.
But it's also like 5-7 damage on the crack.
Yes, 5
He has to. Because he chose the
He
side.
hits hard, so he's going in the middle here. And then I'm gonna put my skin. No, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
place
it's
my
one-
Ventriloquor right here in the middle and cover.
monster.
Okay, I see it.
Champion.
And Omar, are you familiar with what the Ventrilo car does?
Oh, yes.
He's one of the coolest models in the game.
He can, well, he's like the puppeteer.
Yeah, he does. He's got 3 magic tricks he can use. So he can only use each one once during the battle.
Okay.
So he can stun someone, so -1 APL. He can change their order, and he can force them to do a dash.
Right, I know about the dash, but yeah, you could dash it into like another enemy person.
So he doesn't need visibility to do it. It's anyone within 6 inches.
6 inches, okay.
So I've done some really cool things with the Ventrilo car before. I had, so for example, if there was a guy here, and then a guy over here, they're outside of 2 of each other. I forced a guy to dash over here, and that completed the circuit, and I got a 3-man blast. You can do some really big brain plays. It's a lot of fun.
That's a trick move. All right.
Well, otherwise he's got a chainsword, so it's still 5 attacks on 3s, 4-5 damage. So the melee's nothing to sniff at, but that's just evergreen for the team.
For the whole game.
Yeah.
If he gets any shots,
Already got your 4 down, right?
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like you know, like if he's there, it doesn't matter if there's terrain in the middle or anything. If you're going to get your shot anywhere, even if they're up here, you're taking it. The only, like, and that's your trade-off. If you're into a matchup here, this would be one of them where you know you want more frontline guys like Reapers. If you're on ITV and you know you need the mine layer guy, and ITV gives you the guard action anyway, you'll make those choices.
I put my Omniscient on first, and she will reroll ones.
Yeah.
And then refreshes.
Okay, so yeah, so this is my visionary. He has the ability to like create these prescience points. He's like basically my leader, the captain of the team. And then with those points, I think Jeff, I can basically use like a psychic ability to make you skip your activation.
It's you skip your activation.
Oh, I skip my
So
activation.
there's 3 things you can do with his Prescience token. You can only use one, you can't use the same one twice in the same turn. You can use all 3 in the same turn if you want, but it's also dependent on how many Prescience tokens it has. Each turn he's going to roll a d3 and get as many that carry over between turns.
Okay.
The 3 options are spend a Prescience token and an APL with the leader to get CP.
You're sending it.
He can skip his activation, so he can say, Omar, you've got to go again, so you activate 2 dice in a row. And then the third one is he can negate some normal damage dice against you. Like a just a scratch, but just normal damage. So that's really significant in melee, because you have to spend your dice, and then he says it does no damage.
Right. Which is like Purity Seal.
Yeah. Not like a Purity Seal, because then that will, like,
It's more
bring
like
your dice to a miss to a hit.
Iron Halo.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Iron Halo.
More like
exactly.
Iron Halo. I hated that.
And then the Skin Thief is his second best melee operative on the team. So it's a chain glaive, it's 5 on 3s, 4-5 rending, I want to say.
No, it's Skin Thief?
Yeah.
No, it's hits on 3s, 5 dice, 4-6 rending, yeah.
4-6 rending. So very scary. Damage coming through to him is reduced by 1 in melee. I think just on normals, but either way, just remember he takes 1 less damage in melee, so that can change some of your breakpoints. And then if he kills someone, he can point at someone else on your team and say, they can't do mission actions. This is very scary. You're so scared you can't sabotage anything. So, because of the low model count teams, that's less likely to have a big impact. But that's the door.
Okay, I'll ploy and then I'll ask you a question. So, Icon Bearer is just by the door.
Yep.
On the gunner.
Put down big gun, little gun,
Little-ish gun.
big gun, bigger gun. Cool.
So, if I was going against a fighter, would it be sense to take poison vents? Or no?
I don't hate it. Because he's going to be up in your face.
Max,
Okay.
I think it's a
you
worth
can
consideration.
get command points with
So-
into the wall if he tries to.
In the
Yeah,
scouting,
even-
if I take
even
equipment,
from
Yes.
can I take that?
Yep.
here.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm gonna steal you guys. Even if he puts it
Cool.
right
So
here.
we're fully deployed.
yes.
So we're on
Right.
scouting.
Sorry. If he chooses the furthest over point on his base to hit this side of your base, it still goes through heavy terrain.
Yeah.
And he has to actually be here.
Okay. And reposition beats equipped, so you get to choose who gets initiative.
So basically, if I put him
I
down,
gotta take initiative.
he needs to get.
Why is that?
Like in theory, he needs to get.
I read somewhere that it's good to take initiative.
So the consideration in turn one, when you have that choice, typically you want to be playing turn one such that everyone's staying safe, no one's dealing any damage. So on that front, there's no real benefit to you going first. So why would you give it away? Because
Like a minuscule
when you're in
inch more
turn two, if you tie, whoever didn't have initiative the last turn tie breaks. Turn two is much more likely to be important to take first,
Okay.
so give yourself that advantage.
Mind change. You're taking initiative, but I'm taking reposition still.
Yeah, so you got to do your reposition, and then I'm not going to tell you what equipment he's taking. I think I have a sneaky suspicion what he's going to choose.
Yeah.
I still have him down of exactly how much.
Have three.
I
No,
remember
more than enough.
that it was all about clearing out that obscurity cover. But I just want to know that I have position.
So doing it, so this will be a good example here. So say
You know, my initial thought was to move the creature to the door right here.
I'm playing as many different teams as I can.
and you move
So last weekend I played three
here.
players.
Since your base
No,
is
yeah, you
to the door?
you can get to
Yeah.
a point
Okay. I don't take poison in. That's my equipment.
Well, I don't have any sort of big influence or platform, just trying to get around it.
you can get to a point where this side of your base
Oh, played a lot of Nancy School. They were my, they were my,
yeah,
Kill
which
team
is
2.0
the
faction.
best part of your base. You can see both sides of their base and they're just in cover but they're not obscured. But as soon as they go to target you, no matter where they choose,
Okay, that's it.
they
alright,
have
scouting
to
is done, so we're now on to the first command phase.
because it's more than an inch away.
So
They
we
would
both
have
have
to
three command
force
points.
that to
Yep.
move to get a better shot.
Turn
And it's
point
even
uno.
easier with your incurses because they ignore obscurity off the bat. So it doesn't, you don't really have to do all that math. You can just set yourself up on your wall like this and go, I'm in cover and obscured.
And, Omar, you're going first, so you get to choose the first strat
Did
boy.
you pick your primary off?
Yes.
This is when you would do it.
Saturate and ignore obscurity.
Yeah, no.
Strategy
You
was.
said incursion.
I know that you're playing against obscurity. I actually am
No,
not sure if I
I'm
should.
not gonna
put it
take
by
anything
the
this
window.
That's your better
Yeah, that's the best.
with lethal 5.
Oh yeah, I didn't pick what,
Yeah.
what I was choosing. Oh.
No, not
I
this
take
one.
note of this so you don't.
Remember your accretions.
Lethal 5 and
So I'm rolling for my prescience points. D3.
Yes.
I get it. 2.
Very good.
I'm just gonna keep track of those here.
Perfect.
You can punch it in on.
But remember, you can only use 3 per turn. They do carry over.
Right.
But if you're rolling 3 every turn, you're probably going to be.
But here, I think you can't really go wrong. In one.
And can he use those psychic abilities at any point or only during his activation?
So,
Is lethal.
he can use the Justice Scratch at any time. The CP, he has to spend an action, so it has to be in his activation. And then the pass is when you would go.
You have to save
Yeah.
on crits.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But they save on 4s already, so taking out a whole save.
Yeah.
And if you'd have to look at statistics, be like, what's
So.
more valuable statistically on average? In this case,
I would do lethal for now, but yeah, like lethal and random.
yeah,
Move
But
my
yeah, as you said, I'll check out what the.
I like that choice because
over there.
It's kind of like fail safe, no? Like you're making it easier to get crits. What is your lethal damage? 4?
yeah.
Two crits and enough. Yeah, exactly. 2 crits and enough. Then you get a 5.
Are you done?
They're,
Oh, sorry.
they're fishing for crit saves,
Yeah.
which is hard to do even on three dice.
So.
And
So
if
he was
you just
here.
save one, and you like say you get
1
a
inch
crit
would
hit,
be out.
you still
Yeah.
have a critical shot and get that D3.
Exactly. But yeah, that's my side of 18.
So then if I did that 1 inch would be.
Like, I would say your team, the only time your team might want to trade hits is with another elite team that has higher wins than you. Just pretty much any
get him to the ladder.
because you're 12 and then you roll 14.
Yeah.
But against an elf team, you can trade hits. Like you can just be like, okay, you do 4 damage, I do.
I'm moving to the ladder.
Cool. Yeah.
He falls.
Yeah. I'm going to.
It's just like a little bit of a staging area, especially with
I'm gonna use my use my missile launcher guy. My heavy gunner. He's gonna climb 4 inches. So that's 2 movement. 2 inches to get on here.
you can get this side too.
In this doorway, am I still in cover? Because I have blocking here and here.
Exactly. He's not going to be able to see you in front of you.
Yeah.
I just want him
Like they choose a target to ignore obscuring.
There. That's my move. That's my activation.
Look at what you can see to see if you're happy.
Yeah, see, Vivek was mentioning he was going to show us a little bit about pre-measuring, which I
Yes.
think is something we already kind of do,
Sure.
but maybe we could elaborate on
Yeah,
it.
100%. And it's going to be important in this turn 1 especially. So
these things are working
do your next activation, then we'll mention about where we
But if you're LJ1 and
Because now we're going to be determining who can charge who and where and from when.
a laser pointer, but these
My
are
whole
nice because you
goal
can
is to make him have to do that extra move to get to me that I don't have to
oh,
do,
you guys aren't covered.
right? I don't mind we talk openly about strategy. I know this game isn't like, you know, like I'm trying to just, you know, so we could all get the knowledge. You know what I mean?
you can stop him double shooting,
Yeah.
force him to move dash swords to shoot you. That's better than move, shoot.
Yes.
So when you're staging up, you got to think about what are your plans with this operative next turn. So with your guy here, are you thinking maybe I want him to go and tap this point, or do I want him to just threaten someone who's staged behind that barricade? If it's threaten someone who's staged behind that barricade, think about melee, think about range. So if someone's behind this barricade, you're going to need to be within 2 inches of them in order to threaten them to break their cover. So if you can measure 2 inches from the back of this barricade, you know that you need to be exactly here with your move or your move on your dash in order to shoot someone who's right behind the barricade. Now remember, they can still be in cover if they're like half an inch back, because then they're still within 1 inch of the barricade. So maybe you're going to measure, okay, 1 inch back from the barricade is here. So if they were right here, I'd have to go all the way around, but then they're still staging a bit further back. If I was to get all the way up to the point here, how much movement would that take? So if I wanted to touch the barricade, it's 5 inches from there, 2 and 1. So I could move dash and definitely shoot someone who's behind that barricade if I wanted to. So then you think, okay, if that's the case, then what about charging? If I wanted to charge it, I'd be within 1 inch of someone to charge also. Your threat range is a little bit less because you've got only 5 inches plus 2 rather than 5 inches plus 3 with your dash. So it's going to be an inch back, something like that. So if you wanted to charge, that's how far this guy can get. Then if you're thinking defensively, you think, okay, this guy's probably going to come and stage up here and he can threaten me. So how can I keep him safe if he gets initiative? Because then you can think, okay, well, if he wants to come and shoot me where he currently is, as long as he is within 1 inch of this barricade, he would be able to shoot him right now. Likewise, you've put yourself just outside of 1, so he couldn't charge you from this side of the barricade, which is great. He'd have to come all the way around. So his charge range is a little bit more limited. So in order to be within 1 inch of you, he'd have to reach that point. So measuring back from that point, he's got 6 inches plus 2, 8 inches. You kind of want to measure 9 because there's 1 inch of engagement range. So from there, roughly there, plus 2. So you're thinking, okay, well, if he stages behind this barricade, he can get charged. These are the sort of considerations when you're pre-measuring. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you can communicate that intention with your opponent. You can be like, I'm measuring this out here. My intention is that someone who stays behind here can't charge me.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Back to you.
Favorite position 3 inches. Or a dash of 3 inches.
So he can't do it in the turning point. It's basically saying turn one, your guy is relatively safe.
Yes.
here, right? So I want to dash out, and now does my move finish here or
No,
does it move here?
it finishes there.
Put yourself
here, right?
here.
Because you started measuring from the front of the space.
I see.
But it becomes
So then you
really
finish
difficult
south
for you
of
to
that.
get up here for the third one.
So if I'm measuring from the front of the base again, I can't
Even
finish
if
that.
you wanted to
yeah.
be really safe, you could put them where your reaper is.
Yeah, that's what I thought later. Or
So I can't do that. I'm just checking something.
stay there.
And look, you can look if you're really worried. You can even do it like this. Right? Pick a side, whatever you think you're more safe on. Right? All you're really worried about is
Five
that.
is 8.
But that's not heavy.
Still doesn't get you.
Back up.
You have your kind of bonus stuff.
At that point, you'd be obscured, but yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't allow you to do
Finish
it.
off there.
Him, on the other hand, no, not really. So I am safe here, like you were just explaining.
Yeah.
This is all safe. Okay, cool. But that was the same idea what I was doing.
And you can agree that with your opponent. You can be like, hey, he's staging here such that you can't charge him, but I'm within range to charge you.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna be within an inch.
And you mentioning measuring from the front to the back of your base, another handy tip. So if you're trying to measure, say, from how far this guy needs to go in order to get to your leader, it's very helpful to measure from the back of the base in this case. Can I borrow your wedge?
Yeah.
So
Make an effort to have
if you're measuring from the front, you can be like, oh, well, he's clear here, and then you can start moving diagonally. What I like to do is measure from the back of the base, because then you know exactly how far you need to slide left before you can start moving forwards.
Oh, I see. So from here you have to check like this.
Exactly, and you're like, okay, well, pretty much a dash gets to the back of my base clear, then I can start running forwards. It saves you going, okay, well, he's 2 inches here, then we'll move him, okay, then we'll do another inch, and it's just a lot easier to then go, okay, 3 inches, yeah, back of the base is clear, now I can start running forwards.
You can count on having and your clocks.
Thank you.
Our clocks will be set to 15 minutes each.
And so he moved, he dashed, is he doing anything else?
Yourself only 15 minutes.
So that would be my choice then to do something now, right? So maybe I want to make a command point.
Correct answer.
I want to make to make a command point.
one table to table three, I go from
Sorry.
one table four,
Nervous.
table 11.
All I have to do is spend the
Oh
prescience
my
point.
god, I'm in
Correct.
dark, and now I'm at beta decima, and now I'm...
Now, skip.
The tech.
Look at that, magic trick.
The tech is coming, eh?
Okay.
It's different. His team had all the secrets before.
Yeah.
Oh, contagion, lumbering death, poisonous, all this stuff. And I don't know. I'm just kind of playing, right? And I'm like, purity seals, I guess every now and Indominus, you know what I mean? But I don't have all this tech. Now I have
Now you got some tech.
Yeah. Now I have
The
tools.
dark gods are smiling on you now.
Yeah.
Deploy like that.
Yeah.
Your
The
opponent's
training
gonna
wheels are off.
base
That's what he
price
said,
Yeah.
right?
They might then deploy so that they could also benefit from a reposition like your alpha strike.
I thought about doing that,
And then you beat the tie and you decide who goes first.
I'm not doing that. I'm
Yeah.
just taking some swings.
Yeah.
You have someone still behind.
So
Smoke grenades.
smoke grenades. Do your reposition.
What I sometimes do is if I've got a guy behind here, I'll put his token up top so they can see they've got someone.
You also
Fair, yeah.
be within 6 and just barely put him here. Three was you go 3 over
Can I ask a question?
3 out.
Of course.
And then
Omar, do you mind if I ask?
You're getting
Yeah.
it pretty tight.
So I have my screecher in here.
What haven't you?
It's about 3 inches from the door. So if I dash to the door, right?
Yeah, it would
At the door, I have 5 inches of movement because 1 inch is lost going through.
Yeah.
So if I move, let's say to here, right?
You're good. But
Do I
if you went, like,
benefit?
over
No, I
here,
can't benefit from obscuring twice.
No, you
Yeah.
can't get double obscured.
Or no, I won't be like I'd still be a midnight clad because I'm touching
Correct.
this,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't have any other benefit.
Your
Got it.
reaver is
Okay,
right
sorry,
up,
that's just for my.
right? So
Yeah.
I think the animosity could be there.
So I'm just move my icon.
No.
Like here?
Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh, even that's
No, I've pushed my whole case
that's a tough deployment.
That's it.
That's a tough deployment.
That's your
Have
healer.
to go
No. Yes, sorry, yes.
That's so icon bearer
Yeah.
or icon
He was
bearer.
this one,
He's my
right?
healer, yes.
That's
yes,
your...
yes. My icon
So
bearer.
when you
Okay,
do
sorry,
that,
that's
you
what I
really
was looking at.
Yeah.
Icon bearer and this
What
is
is
the
the look?
healer.
Okay.
It's his actual name, like in the
No,
newspaper?
he's playcaster.
Otherwise, because if you're going up and you only have 1 inch left, your base
rules would be like this, and we'll go. Carry on.
Alright. It's yours. You want to do this first?
Yeah.
I picked red.
Yep.
So please be my guest.
Sure. All right.
I will pass. So
You
it's
get a
just
command point?
I will. Yeah. Because of cunning Archon nonsense. Oh, sorry.
You have strat phase things to do.
You need to decide.
Both of you need to lock in your primary,
With that.
and doesn't your comms thing happen in the strat phase as well?
Right. And then you have to decide what kind of game. Yeah, pick my primary.
Yep.
Now, trying to be lucky.
Okay. So I dash to get to this position. So I talk
You
to
lock in
myself.
your primary,
And,
Yeah.
and then it goes back to his turn.
basically repositioning.
Locking your primary
behind
is
this
your
specific
Oh, right.
first strategic move on the first
Now,
turn.
do I lock in my primary?
Yes, there.
Which I just did.
Okay, perfect. Now you can.
Oh, now you do.
Now, in order for this guy to be
A lot of
targeted,
times they'll-
you would need
they'll
seek
put
light
it
to hit him.
especially
Or to be on
turn
advantage.
No
one.
extra command points.
So,
Sometimes it's
yes, by
really
having vantage, you
better, but
negate.
there are times
light
where
cover,
it's
yes.
important
Yeah.
to make sure you're
Correct.
doing the back and forth for
I think there's any threat of that? No, I don't think so. So, yeah, that's the end of my
Oh, that's a
activation.
failed CP roll.
I don't think he has anything.
Yeah. Look at my gambles and decide.
I was supposed to read more about them before I came this week, but I've been just so busy. I'm going and I'm going away Friday morning on like a
Yeah.
week-long trip, so I've been more kind of focused on that.
Makes sense.
My activation.
Looky.
I was telling Omar, I was like, maybe we could try that. I noticed there was that hairy tarantula
Okay.
Yes.
tournament. I
Yeah.
was telling him maybe we could try that.
Absolutely.
Is he a battle target?
I don't know if that's something like it's hard for me to gauge like what is like would be a good idea to try,
Yeah.
or if I'm just gonna go there and get annihilated. I don't know. But
Even if if you do go with the expectation, I'm probably not going to win a game, but I'm going to learn a lot.
yeah,
So
You mark them first.
go and don't be depressed if you lose, but
Yeah.
go thinking, this is going to be a great learning experience.
yeah, right.
Because
Yeah, I have all this.
and
I
like
just grabbed my book.
I've been taking different teams to different tournaments a whole bunch, and I find that just playing like 4 games in a day, you learn so much. You start learning, okay, what are my opening gambits? What do I want to be doing with each operative each turn?
Yeah.
What are their roles? What do I feel really bad about if they die early, sort of thing? What do I feel really good about? What I need to use more?
Yeah.
Just getting games back to back
But
is
if you do it as it is, he's obscure.
If you had to put it into like a quantity,
So I
like,
could
how
mark
many
them.
games do you think you've played?
I've actually been tracking this edition. I
Yeah.
think I'm about
Need a marker.
65.
Instead of the bird.
Wouldn't put them out.
You know what I'm listening? I thought the number would be way higher. Yeah.
I don't play a
It's
lot
3 games
outside of
against the
tournaments.
Space Marines.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Why
A
not?
lot of people
I
are
activate myself.
absolute degenerates
you
who
know
play
you need
Tabletop
him
Simulator
to
multiple
be
games
somewhere
every
else
night.
later.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll just play in
Like he has
person.
full
I
seat,
see.
I've got like a
just a
league
bird.
going at the moment. So I've got a couple of tournaments on
Who
weekends.
else can you see?
Yeah.
So,
Right?
Cool.
that
You could do it on. You could do this same thing on anybody.
Yeah, you were in a
Do it on
tournament too
somebody
last
that.
week.
Yes,
you
yeah.
You played
Sunday.
Bruce.
That's the only
That's
person
right.
you can see.
Yeah, your team looks wicked.
Thank you. I brought them.
The only
Yeah, I want to see them later.
Bomb there, guy.
Oh,
Don't move dash.
Sorry.
Is then he's still there, like
Chill there.
say,
Cool.
But he's still relatively safe because he's still in. No?
and you.
He has the
he's,
blank grenades,
perfectly
right?
safe. And you know that you're pushing up.
Oh, I forgot to do one thing. I am really sorry. Pain tokens. -1 to because of the strategic gambit. Technically, if this is a tournament, I'd be screwed.
And you would have also had to declare what your combat drug you gave out is.
Which was a green light.
Yeah.
I need to remember all that. It has to be right. It's very
So
important.
I'm gonna
So
dash.
anyways,
I've been.
long
I
as
sold a
I'm
couple
-1
recently
to
because
my
I wasn't
turn,
playing them.
then it's gonna have my agent to
Go through the list and all that.
tell my agent.
Well, Aaron, just do it.
We'll do it now because I just went back and redid all my drug stuff.
So if I climb the ladder, I still need to have 2 inches of movement to get off the ladder.
Yeah, you still need enough movement to put your base on the other side of it.
Oh, are you doing the action delay on them?
Okay. These. Ref dice.
Is it 3 actions period?
3 actions of
Oh, it's based on how many operatives differences?
No, I am.
He needs 3 infiltrators. He delays you by 3 of your
Okay.
activation.
Okay.
I'm 24
So
right
he's
now.
gonna activate. He's gonna
Wow.
stay
How
in
many sad when they
Swing
rotate.
Markham. Subgunner armor visible to summoners at the end of the turn point once you're shooting this
Okay,
enemy
so
operative.
I took my melta from here, came out an inch, dashed up, and repositioned into this corner here. So ladder's here, I'm sitting there. That's the end of his
My
activation.
whole team, these are
Cool, so Omar, you need to be making a mental note. Very scary range threat over there. So definitely make sure you're outside of move dash shoot range there as you're staging.
But
It's gonna be move dash.
probably is like a mark.
Can he no melta can't shoot twice.
Correct.
Imagine.
So you've been marked.
Delete a third of your team.
That's only so you know that if you decide to activate that guy, you might not
I
want
couldn't believe
to.
the line. I'm like
Security
6'3",
won't go right
devastating
for any of
4,
my team.
holy.
Piercing
Maybe
2.
you just want him to hang tight.
My fighter's going past.
Not axe or axe.
So no move.
He'll himself. Okay, so he's gonna send out his bird. His power attacks on hits on 4s.
He ignores obscuring to you. You still have your ignore obscuring.
No, yes, but like if I even if I set like on guard, he would still.
It'd be unconcealed until you shoot.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
So I'm hitting on 4s.
dash my stranger to the door.
Yay!
Sorry.
Roll your save.
For whatever reason, it feels so bad to knock the
It's annoying, but it happens.
it actually just makes me feel like. You know what I mean? I have that moment.
You're fine.
And then
A bird
so
flies
I
out
have
of nowhere.
5 inches
extra
from
helmet,
here
what the hell is that?
to this corner.
So notably, it's not 5 inches from the other side of the door, it's 5 inches from behind the door. It's still fine, you still get where you want to be, but just remember, because it's attacks by virtue of going through the door. It's not, you can start measuring after the door.
Remembering what we talked
Okay,
about.
so where I have it now, it's basically like, see this line?
Yeah.
So I measure from there with this.
Exactly.
So I have 5 inches.
Yeah,
from
you
there.
still get to where you want to
Both
go,
you and your
but
No,
it's
I
not
want to
like,
go
yeah.
for the because I don't.
But it's not like you pay an inch to go
Yeah,
through the
don't
door
get the
and then
habit
you're
of
immediately on the
using
other
things.
side.
You
Because
have
your
all
base
the
is,
rules for
your
not
base
fully
is
through
wider
and
than
if
an
you're in
inch.
a tournament
Yes.
and you don't use them, your opponent.
So only 25mm bases are less than an inch. Everything else is more than an inch, so you need to.
So in order for you to clear
An
it,
inch
you
out.
actually have to move 2
Exactly.
inches. I got it.
Plus one from
You
the
have probably a move and dash.
from attacks. So it's essentially you have to dash through a door.
And then
You don't get directly next to the door, you get a little bit further forwards, but because of the thickness of your base, it gets awkward like that. And then imagine if you're a patriarch and you're on a 40mm base.
Yeah.
you have
It
APL
becomes even
that
harder.
you
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see.
My.
Now, question: if you're if you're touching the door, can you dash through the door?
If you have enough movement, yes. So depending on your base size.
So if you're 32 and lower, you can.
Yes.
40 and up, no.
Because if you're trying to dash through a door, remember your 3 inches is basically 2. So 2 inches to get clear of the door, generally speaking, yes.
So if you're 40,
But you just can't do it on counteract. Because counteracting, you only go 2 inches, reduce that by 1, and 1 inch is going to be smaller than your base size.
seek
Oh,
light
I
for
see. Cool.
versus
Okay. Good to know.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
no. There's 2 effects.
My playcaster's just
Seek
gonna
light
move
for
to this side of the wall.
Oh yeah, ignore obscuring.
Great.
Yeah.
And is that everyone activated?
No.
Ignore obscuring.
Yes, I went first.
You've got Ventriloquist next.
Comms.
This is like the game was not
There. So it's my dash.
You know what you want to do, right? You know what your game plan is? How do you stage for that? In turn 1, where do you want to be so that you can do what you want to do on turn 2? Because you know what you want to do on turn 2 is charge and fight and kill the Space Marines. And shoot them when they retaliate against you.
Can I ask a question? Because I want to do something. Maybe it's legal, maybe it's not.
And to that same end,
So I gotta get 2
without your
inches to
opponent
get to
knowing,
the
you want
ladder.
to have somebody who's able to follow
Along
up
the
at the
ladder,
end of the turning
1
point
inch to go up.
to grab what
2
happens
inches
from
to
kill
go.
tokens.
Oh, really?
So pretty much anywhere along the stronghold here is 2 inches up. Because remember,
Even on
even
the
if it's
ladder?
1 inch. Oh, on the ladder, yeah.
I have
Where's
a
your
marker.
ladder? Oh, you. Okay, yeah, the ladder's fine. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So if I so 2 inches to the ladder,
And all your
Yeah.
melee guys
1 inch
to
up the
be
ladder,
Yeah,
in
2
here
inches to get
and
off.
behind here.
yeah. If that is in fact 2 inches.
But you don't
So how would you show that?
Put him back to where he was.
Like let's say here.
So that's where he started his turn. And then the way I like to shortcut it, as long as you've got like half your base touching, then you can know, okay, 1 inch out, done. Okay, 2 inches forwards. Where do we get the front of his base? The front of his base gets just touching the marker. Okay, so now I've got 6 inches on my reposition. Take away 1 by virtue of going up the ladder, so I've got 5 inches forwards. So just measure 5 inches horizontally where you want it to go.
There's no door there. Oh, I see. It's over here.
Oh, okay. So.
Dash.
Now notably you have to get onto the vantage first. You can't sort of say I'm climbing here and then get over here. You do have to follow it around.
So I'd have to be 3 inches to the door.
Yeah, so you can do it in more increments if it's more helpful. So measure from the back of your base how much movement is it going to take to get the back of your base on that vantage. 3 inches. Then you've got 3 inches from there. Basically.
Oh, so from here 3 inches.
Now
Yeah,
go
so-
2 more this way. And then a dash gets you where you want to go. Now check your visibility to this guy. Can
There's
he
a
see
giant tower in the way.
Can he see you at all? No? So that's what you would say, double check with your opponent and go, okay,
So I can
put
only do
myself here,
their
I'm not
his
visible,
psychic
just
ability
so you know.
once per
Even
the
though
whole
he's on
game.
advantage,
You can only do
break
each
your leg
option
cover.
once. You can use all 3 over the course of the game, but you can only use each option once.
Okay.
Now be wary.
So you can't dash him 3 times. You
Even
can't
if you
stun
reposition,
twice.
I don't think he sees you. So that's good. It's a safe place to be.
If I drop,
That's light cover, though,
2
right?
inches negated, 1 inch just to drop down.
I don't want to keep them up too just for anything.
It is pretty safe.
I will.
Because the only vantage that would get around that would
Up
be
here.
here.
And by then I'm charging people and stuff.
Yeah.
He's spent, right?
He's done, yeah.
So you set up.
Oh, that's right. 1 down to 1.
And for my turn, I'm just gonna put this guy on guard.
Okay, I'm going to say lost in the sauce.
Does he have any other ability actions he can do before he does that? Probably not.
Hope not.
Drop down,
I hope not.
Okay,
and then for 2.
I would look foolish. No one's in the dark. Just track target? Yeah, okay.
And, you know, just because he's there doesn't mean he has to stay there. Sometimes you look at the way the game is progressing and see, okay, maybe it's time to bring him down here so he has better angles.
Gonna move
and
him
see things.
just up here.
And this
And
stupid
then
bird sticks to him.
So I'm pretty sure you can get him there, just the way you measured it with him being up here first. He's
Yeah.
going to have to spend 2 inches to get down here and then 1 inch.
Or his
The way,
next
just do
activation.
it so that, okay, he's moved out here, he's by the ladder, he just hops on wall with the ladder.
End of
I
turn
see,
1.
to go here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's probably just a reposition to get you there. I haven't measured it, but it's probably, you probably still have a dash from there if you wanted to.
Well, I dashed to get there.
Okay, so now you've got a full reposition.
Again, getting in the habit of measuring is really good. So you were right behind the door.
Yep. Basically 5 inches from the other side.
2 inches through the door, a third to get an inch beyond it, and then so yeah, you're
Could I get to this side of
2
the wall?
inches to here,
Probably.
5, so 6
She's
inches.
kind of visible to him,
It's
so.
6 inches of your movement to get right there.
Okay. And she's kind of visible to that guy, so I might.
If you're staying on conceal, it doesn't work.
Oh, that's right. Because
And is this one of the operatives you want to be able to charge over here with next turn?
So I'm confused
Measure
here.
that out.
Yes.
Don't mind if I'm taking
So
too long with
if
this
if
one.
you're sitting where
So
you
I
are
was
now,
here, right?
Mhm.
So you were saying
these are good, but they don't really
let's
account
say
for your base having to move
I
around.
dashed
too much.
1 inch out,
Yes,
They're
like
great
that
for like
pitch.
going
or yeah, like you were saying. So I'm half here,
anyway.
1 inch out,
Exactly, 2
Here,
inches
you
forward.
go
2
1
inches gets me to touch the ladder.
Right?
Yes.
Now the ladder could be
Let's say
situated in
your
such a
place
way
got
where
a
I could get
25
up here,
Yeah.
or I could fall in from here.
Yeah.
So I'm measuring from where my base is right now.
Mhm.
So I'm basically using your
if you
position.
wanna be
So
right
1
here.
inch to get up the ladder,
Yeah.
Right?
and then
You
from
go
here I'm measuring.
Over
It'd be
1
2 inches to get in.
clear.
I see,
Whether
and then
you go
drop
the
down.
full inch or
Yeah.
not,
So then I would have the
clear
3 inches from there.
that
So I just
terrain.
understand.
Yeah.
and if you're charging, you now have 8 inches left. So you can go 6, 7, 8. So you can charge to here. So anyone
Yeah, I'm gonna move to
on the objective.
the other
virtually,
side here.
but if they're over here, if he's sitting on this side
So
of
now
it,
I've
That's Move and a dash.
A move and a dash, and I'm planning to for. I think I'm gonna use my one psychic point to remove one of his APL.
For next turn, so it's going to be 2 APL next turn.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you have another melee operative that you plan on putting along here to be able to cover that side?
That's my activation.
It's just things to consider,
That's
right?
right.
So now you want to put a shooting operative there rather than
Or that's just what I was saying when I said you know that you want to be able to charge this point,
Right.
or even the middle next turn. So you want to be in here and here.
Right.
That is a good spot for a supportive shooter, but your supportive shooter is already.
Alright, let's roll for initiative.
Like I could send in the with her grenades or
Yeah,
her
that's a
pistol.
really good grenade. She would be good there because then her grenade is just
See ya.
6-inch visibility. And remember, he's obscuring himself with this, but you can't move him yet. So being there is really good for him,
Right.
so that he's not obscured on his own shots down this lane.
So it's an okay place for the flare. It's not completely ideal because he decides to come at the objective. He would
What's
just
going through your head as you
Yeah,
make
and
this
your
decision
opponent
on
would
whether
be
or not you take first?
measuring out
So
your possibility.
if I take
So
first,
if you
I
don't
could
go
probably
this way, you're
do a
1,
fight move.
2,
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you could almost certainly get this
So
guy to charge and fight
You're
him.
just
Right.
sitting here.
But then
With
afterwards
the-
he's open for a counterback or
He can measure out a spot.
captain.
Measuring your
Or a
threat
hot-
range.
If I go
Or a
second,
hot-
he
where you
can
won't be able to charge
open
him.
up with
Right.
a charge
And that's something
or
that
a shoot
an
action
opponent
already.
Being mindful of what you can
And
do.
then
will-
probably do probably a charge afterwards.
Because he doesn't even have the option of stopping you shooting. So
Gal, go
Yeah.
first.
you could throw a cracker at him.
Yeah, so the way I weigh it up
Yeah,
is,
it's cracking.
this is really the most threatening piece right now.
Yes,
So what happens if you go first? We've agreed you can't charge him.
correct.
You could almost certainly charge him. So what happens if you charge him? You've only got 2 APL, so you can only charge fight.
Find somewhere else.
Are you going to kill him in
Or
one
activate
fight
something
action?
else.
How many dice do you have? 4 or 5? So he has 5 as well, so if he parries everything, so you, assuming you hit with everything, you hit with everything, that's 5 dice against 5 dice. You strike,
Measure from
he
the
parries,
edge or the
you
front or
strike,
the back.
he parries, you strike. So you're getting 3 hits in.
That'd be 2.
So what's the damage profile on this
Clear.
weapon?
So 4-5.
4-5. It's brutal though, it's brutal, so we can only block with critical hits.
And shot.
And it's shock, so if you strike him with a crit, you're going to take away one of his.
Right.
So assuming that, let's say you get a crit out of your 5 dice, you're going to miss some, but let's assume the worst case scenario. He hits with everything, one of them is a crit. Let's
Also,
say you get the
keeping in
same.
mind now that
So you're going first, you're going to
when
strike
you
with your
charge
crit
and
and
fight
parry one
here,
of his regulars.
you're within the
He
6
can now only
inches,
parry one of yours.
right?
So now you've struck once, and now you've got 3
unless he
more
comes
strikes
and
that can go
dashes
through that he
to
can't
move
parry.
over,
Right.
you actually do.
So
want
if
to be
that's the
doing
situation,
different
you
fights.
struck with 1 crit, which is 5 damage, and then you got 12 damage in the other one. So that would kill him.
Yeah.
Would you take damage in return? He's got 3 attacks left, 4, 8, 12. So you're going to be alive on 3, on 2 rather. Is that a worth it trade? Because
Actually, I don't know.
it's possible for you to kill him, but we've assumed that you're both hitting with all of your dice.
Right.
You can't re-roll your ones.
Is it those ones?
So these are the things to consider. Now, okay, that's assuming you go first. So you might not kill him, but that's not the end of the world. If you don't kill him, then he's still locked in combat, so he'd have to either fight you back or charge someone else in.
But would this change now if I take contagion?
If you take contagion, he's
He has
hitting
hit
on 1
on
worse,
Yes.
then that changes the math quite significantly because now he's got a 50% chance to hit.
Right.
So 5, let's round down, so he's missing with 2. You've got your crit, so you're parrying 1 immediately. Now he's got 2 hits left, so it's much less likely for you to take twice as much damage now.
Yeah.
So that's a really good consideration to take. So now if you're doing it the other way and you're saying, okay, you can go first, what are the odds of something bad happening to him?
Gotta pick you.
Well, you've got the melter gunner over here, so if he was to climb over this wall, he's got 4 inches left. That's not going to be within 2, so he'd have to move dash, and then he could definitely delete it. But then he's trading 1 for 1 with his melter, which he might not want to do. Alternatively, the ventriloquist could move over here within 2 and double shoot you with a bolt pistol. So same again, if you're taking contagion, he's going to be hitting on 1 worse. So let's say 4 dice, 50% chance to hit. You've still got your 3 defense dice to roll, so you're probably going to block 1. So let's say he gets 3 damage through. Then he shoots you again, that's another 3 damage through. and you've got your damage reduction, you're probably not going to die from him with his bolt pistol. So that might be another factor saying maybe he goes first because you're not too threatened, and if he does that then he's out in the open and you can really just delete some response.
Put yourself in a
These are just sort of the conversations you're having in your head as you're going through.
No,
Now,
very true,
you
yeah.
don't have to go quite as intensive with the maths there,
Yeah.
but I'm just talking about so you can see what's likely to happen. Because bear in mind, if you let him go first, then you're also getting
An extra
extra CP, which might be useful. And even if it's not more useful to you, it might be more detrimental to him to not have that second
Right.
CP.
Okay. You go first this time.
No problem. So you're gonna get 2, and I get 1. Okay, I'm gonna roll for my prescience points.
Yep. Oh, just the one.
Just the 1. Okay. 2 points total. I'm going to reveal
It was funny.
my tack off.
talking to my
So,
brother
yeah, my
on the
tack
phone,
off.
it's like,
I chose
I'm running
champion.
well on standard orc,
Okay,
but I lost this deep pretty much to do it.
I'm choosing.
He did the skin on them.
So here, you know, you can jump up and shoot if you need
Choosing my
to.
visionary as my champ.
Hit one point,
Okay.
you can hit
So
this
that's-
point.
That's my champ.
And you know about champion?
Yeah.
If he kills one of my guys, he
and-
gets points.
Yes.
Yes. But if I kill him, he gets
I've
to select
seen him
another champion.
activate
In a later
some of
turn.
his scary,
I get 2 points
at
for your
least
guys
one
because
of
they're all
his
worth more
melee
than
on
12.
bolts.
Okay.
So crucially, now that he's revealed that,
Another one.
you
I
go
wanna stay away from him.
make sure he doesn't get a kill. That's your
Right.
one objective this turn, right off the bat.
Okay.
Dash
So
out.
you need to be coming into each turning point with an idea of what you're trying to get out of. So I don't know what you've chosen for your attack off.
Here.
We know what you've chosen for your attack off because you've had to reveal it. It's one of the unique ones where you do reveal it at the
He
start of
can
the turn.
do pretty
Now he has a lot of
reliably.
information about what he needs to do in
He
his
can-
turn.
he can
So
get
it's
a charge
sabotage.
off on you
So are you going to be able to
outside of your
sabotage his home point? Maybe not, because you want to stay away from that. Okay, so we're re-evaluating.
1 inch of you.
If we want to score crit op points, we need to control this point and this point. Okay, so what are we giving up if we control both? More likely to die if we're sitting on the middle one, so maybe we just try and play it safe, try and deny him sabotaging our home objective,
Okay,
sitting on it sort of thing.
See, I thought of everything.
Sort of thought it's crazy.
Lois?
Lloyd, I'm gonna be taking.
There might be.
I'm definitely taking Return to Darkness. So I can perform a free fallback or reposition action, but it must end with I must end that move
There.
in or with heavy terrain within its control range, or I have to be underneath bed.
And you can't be closer to enemy objects.
Yes, it can bring me
So
closer.
he gets to bravely run away for one
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
I take in contagion.
Something you should be thinking.
Okay.
So you've got to announce who you're doing that with right now.
But that's your,
Oh,
that's
boy.
the balance.
You've got to announce
you
your
know, am I
return to darkness now. You do it
aggressive or
right
am
now.
I-
Oh, you do it right.
Yeah.
Oh.
You do it in the strategy phase, which is quite
Go
powerful.
ahead, Jeff.
Alright. Since we talked about it, make a flare pop through the door.
The pressure.
No, I didn't know it was like that. I thought I was gonna be able to do that during the game.
No, it's
So
right now.
Since your base is exactly an inch. it's-
So you can use that as a tactic in future turns where you could be like,
So I wouldn't have been. So I was worried here
yes,
because I'm like, he's gonna charge me. I'm done.
yeah.
But with Return to Darkness,
You can be like,
I could have
okay,
been like, yeah. take me.
actually, peace out. I'll see you later.
I would have got this guy out of dodge.
Yeah.
Then maybe forced him to maybe try to shoot from here, double shoot, whatever. Or I could have just moved maybe into the corner and gone out of his range. Because he only has 7. He's got to come up, over, down, all that weird shit. Okay, so maybe I don't want Return to Darkness. Because you're giving me first.
And now you're doing the same maths as we did before, and you're thinking, okay, if I don't activate him first, what am I giving up? If I return to darkness, maybe I bring him back over here. Now he's doubly safe, and I can choose to do something else.
Eventually when I get up there somewhere.
I'm fucked up. So much tech, dude. It's problematic. Okay,
Yeah, like
so
they say, Angel.
Return to Darkness brings me back here. 1 inch over, is that correct?
That's like
2 inches.
Well, remember last time we said your dash got you over here, so if you're reversing that, you get over there, right?
Yeah, true.
All heavy.
Oh, it's these that are like whatever, right? Okay.
Cool. So he has returned to
You
darkness.
know you have activated.
Now you're significantly safer because he's going to have to move and then shoot or whatever. But it's also trickier for you to charge him instead. So.
Before you start staging here, but the
Any points for you?
I'm taking contagion.
Yep, we've done that one.
So back to me now.
Because then you kind of want to know. Anyway,
I'm gonna take We Have Come For You. So whenever is activated and my first action is a charge, when it ends the move, I can inflict D3 damage on that target.
deeper to his server than mine is into mine, but I think I'm
So we call that impact damage. Runs at you and smashes
I
into
think
you.
it's just my eyes playing tricks.
Now notably it has to be the first thing he does on that.
It has to be plan A.
Exactly.
It's not a plan B type thing.
Well, his is sitting right in front, mine's offside.
Yeah, I felt very, very exposed there, and I'm like, I could leave him there, activate first, then maybe dash him away,
Yeah.
push him back. I could have did that, but I kind of like what's going on here. And
Yeah.
I kind of like this now. I'm like, come in my
it's cool, right?
let me charge you.
And another thing that you can consider is, remember you've got your creatures to skip activations.
Yeah.
So you can stage up and be completely safe from anything that they can do. You can take second turn, because you know you're not going to get threatened in the first activation.
Yeah.
Even if there is someone who does threaten, you can box screen them and say choose someone else.
Yes.
And then you can say creations pass. Now you have to go with two guys, and I know I'm completely safe. Now I've got an activation advantage, even though we've both got 6 models.
Yeah, because question, can I not be like, okay, so you gave me first turn, right? I activate with him, use a prescience point,
Exactly.
it's back to you.
You can do that, yeah.
I could technically just have turned it right back.
Said no you.
Yeah, exactly. So you can play around with your initiative as Nemesis.
Yes.
Interesting, cool. Okay, cool. I'm not doing anything well with the tech yet, but it's
Yeah.
it's starting to get it.
Just little considerations, be like, oh, maybe this would have been a good time to use this, or...
Yeah.
Another point would be lumbering death.
Shouldn't say it's bad.
That's nice, that's the rerolls if you haven't moved more than 5.
3 inches.
So look at the way this is developing.
3 and 3. I'm going
It looks
to.
like he's trying to go for sort of both. Looks like he's maining this one as much as he can, but he's not moving anyone forward. Whereas this one he's got guys.
Prey sight.
Yes.
So whenever I'm selecting a valid target,
Whoa.
if I were to example charge into this guy and he's a valid target,
Yeah.
So I either have to
does
decide
prey
if I
sight
feel
give
like getting into
like
a fight.
basically negate this light and this light terrain? Or
So
sorry, this is heavy. This
ignore
is
the charging stuff. All it says is, look, he's behind a cover, you can't shoot him. It's heavy, so you can't. He's behind light cover, but prey sight says as long as you're within 6, that light cover's like it doesn't exist. Because it gives you seek light. So it'll let you select him as a target, he'll still get to retain a dice from being in cover, it just lets you shoot him. But bear in mind, this is Volcus, and this is like the only piece of light terrain in the whole map, apart from this one in your
A lot of his shooting is coming down here.
Right.
He's one operative left.
And does Black Hunt, whenever a friendly operative is shooting against, fighting, or retaliating against a wounded enemy, does that mean, like, let's say in the fight I wound him, does he now no longer get his reroll 1?
No, so
It's only from the beginning of the act. Like,
so he's always getting no rerolls of 1 because if you're fighting, he's going to be within 2. What this says is if you're fighting or shooting someone and they have already taken damage, you get a reroll. So remember that first ploy that you just did with Comfy?
yes.
Charge. You're taking mortal wounds, you're taking at least 1, so now you're wounded. There's a nice synergy between those two.
Yeah, remember we were talking about that?
Yes. Okay. I take Black
So I'm
Hunt.
not really afraid of her getting into a fight
Okay,
necessarily.
back to you.
And so that
I'm not
is
gonna
why
take
if you don't care
Okay, let's do it.
if the Reaver comes and charges and fights
I'm
you,
first.
because
You're
know
all
that
first.
it's gonna do some
Or are you?
to it, it does. You're probably gonna lose that
Yeah.
encounter. Because 2 normal hits will kill you.
Yeah.
But it depends on the dice, really. And so you know that unless so you want to see where this guy ends up.
Right.
Because if he doesn't end up on here, you know that your only option really is to start going that way and wait until the end of the turn and see if it's worth moving over, stealing that
Right.
upload.
So I mean, if that's the case, what I might do is just either pass or have
Okay.
myself in sort of
I actually
this way or
now I'm going to
Yeah.
use my
wait to see what he does and then maybe just
Visionary's ability.
whether he does it or doesn't.
Yeah. Whether you want to, where you want to apply pressure.
I'm gonna
So
Because you've already
flip it
applied
back
a
to
lot
you
here.
for
So you
1
pay
point.
accretions. Alright. Skip activation, time to end.
move my Saladin over here in case he needs to do stuff maybe it didn't drop.
You can heal and hand out
Yeah.
drops.
Oh, it's because it's different on both
Oh,
sides.
If I
okay.
do move my duelist out
Forgive
here,
I don't know. I get nervous when people are watching us play too. You know what I don't know.
Just here.
It's just me. I don't know.
Which is what I was going to do.
Right? Is he now able to get to her healer? If she
That's pretty cool. You don't even use an APL for those ones.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
It's nice.
Say you've got your
Cool.
Say you've got your duelist sitting here. Yeah, you're getting this on our stream. With 2 APL. I don't think so.
It's almost a mirror game, eh?
Yeah.
himself in his tongue.
It's a very symmetrical
Do you want to
map.
have to use a pain token just to be able to run up and heal somebody?
What up?
Game's going.
So far, so good.
You can do
I'm
Craftsman
feeling it.
7.2 here. We've got some
using up this
TP2.
Yeah, we've got some
things happen.
good thoughts going around.
Max, you can work out with her.
Amazing, thanks so much.
Yeah, yeah. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then depending on what he does with his other activations, you can decide if they move
If you're at that point of I don't know what's going to go on or where I'm going to stage, put it so you have the best choice of having your opponents do their job.
And his job is to stay alive, hand out pain tokens, and kill people.
And that's like if you're like, oh, depending on my opponent's next couple of activations, I might put my operative in a risky spot here just to saturate threats. And then I lose initiative, and one of those threats gets shut down. I have play to go and
Have a
heal.
backup plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Do something. Give me something, dude. Now I'm gonna play dumb aggressive. I'm gonna play dumb aggressive now, eh? Watch.
You're seeing the spearhead.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
What?
This area is for
I'm sorry, stream. Trying to investigate this long range charge. This guy's getting on the Boeing jet to come charge me. Come on, climb the ladder. Move dash. Oh wait. Oh wait, can't move dash. Shoot. Oh wait, does this guy have a gun? No.
The guy with the giant flail? He does not.
Keeping in check.
His hands are occupied. Like a creature.
But does he have grenades?
Where are you gonna play?
He always can have grenades.
Everyone comes with pockets.
You know the most
40k, everyone got pockets.
It's
Schrodinger's grenade.
You know
very
the most
seldom
likely
that
place to
grenades are
live
a
in
decent default
over here.
thing to have in your
Yeah.
arsenal.
Potentially up here.
Especially if you have melee guys who don't have guns and you're like,
Where
what if this guy gets in a situation where he has to
you're gonna plant
toss a crack grenade?
like
Where
inside.
But it also means
Fuck
you're
around
having
and
a
frag out.
thing. I don't have to worry about any
Yeah.
range threat.
Like, oh, that guy is 10 inches out, he can't do anything. It's
From
like,
your
No, you have to consider
has to be in this strip of land.
plague marines. So he's slow,
Mhm.
but and you have advantage of speed on him.
Yeah, so based on the physical shot.
That's
But I mean,
they have to be
you don't
that
want him to
far
get up
from
in
your
your grill.
deployment zone
Yeah.
to be the ones that are
Especially
in
if
your
you
path.
with a flail, he's gonna stay.
And they have to be 6 inches
You
away
can
from
play
every
keep
other.
away with him, I will.
So
I think we fought with the flail and my assault intercessor
Yeah.
last game. I beat him.
one in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, he's killable. He's just
Dueler
like,
is a real.
if you were playing with a horde team, like that flail guy can come and just like wipe out 2 or 3 guys. But
Yeah.
I mean, your nemesis
Right
calls, so
over
it's
here.
not really your
So you
concern.
can really condense them on
I got
this
one.
side or on that side.
We got
But
power.
that's pretty much what you're
But if you were like some, if you were like
And what are
some
you
other
gonna
team,
do?
it'd be like,
If he takes this
"Oh,
charge,
yeah.
takes this charge right into your box breaker, what are you gonna do?
What I was thinking, you're gonna shoot him.
I hate going
You
first.
fall back and still shoot.
You gotta do something that basically doesn't put you in danger, but you also
Would it be wise
think about maybe this, the crit.
so that you can just like go in the middle and at the same time be
It's a tough spot, so you don't really want to be the first guy to commit. Because if you're coming out here, yep, you're denying it and sabotaging it, but you're going to get tapped by the melter in the
You're looking
spot,
at this charge.
which you might not want to do. So you might want to make your safest plays first, because there's no real good alpha strikes you can do right now.
You would have to be
So what's your safest play? You could maybe move this guy up and just leave him
And
here.
then, and if
Make sure he's not being threatened by that guy.
charge that guy.
That's something that you could consider. Because right now, unless you're doing literally nothing with this guy, or this guy, there's going to be some level of threat, but you need to weigh up the competing. So you could force him such that if he wants to threaten this guy over here, he has to move and dash. Then he's only getting one shot off, and he's then exposed, and not on his point.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
Something they can do. Remember, if you're on guard and he charges you,
Yeah.
you can go on guard and then fall back, do something else, and wait until he activates anything else, and you take that shot. The shot doesn't have to be with you that falls back.
Right.
I don't know. You have lots of options. I wouldn't hate this. Then you can do what you want to do, right? If he's within that
Yeah.
4 inches away.
Yeah.
Your deployment zone.
Yeah, that's why I got the idea of helping out with the fight, but yeah.
You could do it, yeah, from here.
Okay.
You could
Oh yeah, because it's with it. Okay, cool. I like that.
where you can, if you don't want to be on that side, you can put him here. You don't know where his blaster's going to go. If his blaster comes over here, he might have a shot, but it's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
And if he takes it, you have a layup.
Thing.
I wouldn't take
This.
I also thought about that one. In case there needed to be any support. You've got vantage.
Are you a free ABL? You can jump over and
Yes,
plant.
yes. You know what?
But I don't like this.
Yeah.
And I don't like this.
Yeah, no, no.
Car versus
Thankfully I didn't think.
Phobos.
But yeah, you know what?
Phobos.
Conservative.
It's the safe move, but it's not a bad move. Like it still gives you options. And it doesn't put you in danger of getting flayed.
Right up to this corner.
And you see the archetype, right?
And I don't think in this range you can't charge him. You obviously can't charge him with either of those guys.
I can't see you.
They're in line.
I guess you could fight me
Oh,
through the wall.
not this guy.
Oh, which one?
Well,
Oh.
So you need visibility, but remember on Volcus walls, on the Volcus strongholds,
yeah,
terrain that's 2 inches or less, you ignore the visibility requirements of control range.
got it.
So we measure.
Yeah, this is 2 inches. I just measured it.
Well,
So Omar, if you wanted to charge into this corner, you could ignore this terrain and fight him. So he is exposed there, where he's currently put.
You've known about him,
Yeah.
right?
So do
Whether or not you choose to take that is a different
Right
story,
now,
because then you can come and
You
shoot
only
back
have
or
one
whatever. But
operative.
who's in jeopardy?
That's a threat,
Right.
and you can see it with an infiltrator,
Right.
meaning
Fight him.
top of turn 2, whether you win initiative
Because
or not.
you
can
move
say,
more than 3 inches
they
to
fight
get there,
free.
right?
Yeah.
and then you have no.
So then you don't get
aggressive
lumbering death.
at the
No.
top of turn
You would
2.
still have contagion up though.
Right.
Yes.
And then whatever, you'd be able to just kind of have a field day with it. I don't know if you would charge this box into you. You have combat knives,
Yes.
so you're what? Everybody's still 34 before
Yeah.
attacks.
3, 4, 5 attacks. You could probably go.
do.
Yeah,
Just
like you
point out possibilities.
yeah, and try to help them make
Possible
wise
play faster?
choices.
Yeah, well, I just shift him on that side.
What do you think?
I'd be tempted. I'm less tempted to put him there. I feel like the agents.
Pretty passive game so far.
This,
Who's
yeah.
going to make the first move?
I'm gonna let in.
Yeah, I think just put the agent like beside him.
I don't know too much about how Nemesis fights, so
Agent is
I want to see how they are first.
your basic boy, right?
Like he can just kind of waddle over there.
Played games against Angel, so I know
Hang out
what to
next to his
expect.
buddy.
Yeah.
And then just see what happens. And then that way, if he is closer to going in that direction, if he's needed over there.
Because your agents are your expendable operatives.
Yeah, I mean he's cool. He
They're
gets a pay
decent
token, but
in shooting and melee because you've taken your equipment.
wicked blades, yeah.
Yeah.
But his chances of capping a space marine by himself is pretty slim in this third edition.
But if he does 3 damage to a Phobos, you're having a good time.
Then it's a worthy trade.
You all set, Jeff?
You
Yeah,
can't.
the agent just went
Okay.
hanging out with his.
Just gonna say what my
friends
idea is.
from-
My Melta's within 1 inch of the marker for the ladder. Does he still have to move an inch to touch it and then go up the ladder? As long as he's within
As long
1
as you
inch.
have it within your control range.
Yeah. So my Melta would climb the ladder for 1 inch. I'm gonna say climb the ladder for 1 inch. So probably would take 3 inches from here to get on, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm at 4 inches to get to this
5
point.
inches forward.
3, right?
One
ladder
inch
is
up.
2.
It's a 3 inch.
No, 1 ladder and 3 to get from.
No, because you're touching the wall, right?
Yeah, it was like here.
Yeah, so 1 inch from the ladder attacks, measure from the back of your base. Back of your base can reach there with 2 inches, right?
Say from here. Yeah. Okay. So 2 inches there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 3 inches there. So now with a move and dash, for example, I still have 6. So if I move now from here to here, am I within 2 inches of him, or is there the base to base issue?
Measure base to base, but bear in mind, if you wanted to negate his cover, you'd have to sort of like overhang, because then you couldn't see both his sides of his base, but
Not like this.
remember, he's in light cover, so
I could shoot him.
you could shoot him.
Could he charge me from here?
Yes, but he'd have to go this way.
So if I got up there, I would just have a shot at him. These are this is heavy. This guy, no, I have to get here
He can
basically to shoot him.
Yeah.
But
Or
he's done that
would-
already this
for
turn.
example, not that this is a scenario, but from
well,
here, could I shoot him?
If he uses that as
2
an
inches,
action,
are you within
like
2
he uses
inches?
his
No.
operative to set that up against you,
Well,
you have time to react.
from my base to his base, like
Yeah,
this,
he has to be able to
maybe.
see you to do that, but you can't.
If the maybe is a yes, then
He'd
yes.
have to move.
Yeah, I want to say yeah. You.
And then he gets
I don't
a
have
whole
the movement to
activation
get
where
that
you
far.
actually can take advantage of it.
But if you use the ladder to go this way instead of up and drop it.
Unless you want him to try to blow his mark so that he can't do it to someone else.
My sergeant will grow extra big balls.
Knowing that,
Fully knowing.
yeah, he might be able to get charged and
Yeah.
I'm 2 inches
not
over
within
the
that
top.
range. You're gonna get hella counter
That's 3 inches there.
right? Keep that in mind. You can move further by counteracting them.
And now he wouldn't get benefit of any cover.
Correct.
Yes. That was my last dude expendable.
No, because of how like this is me thinking out loud. Because of how passively this game is going, I think I need an engagement here. I want an engagement. Is it foolish of me to engage on this, or is it better that I keep playing his game of passive? Because I think I have positioning advantage,
Yeah.
but it's gonna come down to like he's gotta get in this open eventually and touch this thing. If you don't, you're just gonna lose on the crit. It's gonna be the fight for the middle. So if I could remove and now try to remove this guy and now bring these guys into the picture by putting them into an engage, I can shoot, I can charge.
Yep.
Is this not favorable?
Yeah, so think about what are your objectives for this turn? What are you trying to get out of this turn?
The other side of
You want to get a champion kill?
Yeah.
Are you wanting to completely deny the crit off for him?
More than an inch in movement for your
Maybe.
whole base.
Because right now, think of it on his perspective. His tack up we don't know yet.
For you,
We do know the crit off,
calculation is a little more weird.
and we know that he's not going to come up here and contest this because he's going to die.
Where you are in the
He's
door,
not going to come up here and contest this necessarily because he's going to die in response.
Yeah, to be able to get your whole.
If he runs up here, he's not going to be able to threaten you, and he's now putting himself in your threat range. So what you could do is, if you're the first one on here and tap it, you get a point immediately, and you then deny him a point.
No, you just.
He's then not going to be contesting this one unless he's playing risky. He's also not going to come up here. So now you've denied him completely on crit up for a turn.
You can.
So, and you can do this while on conceal as well.
Yeah, the tunnel.
Oh, really?
Like barricade.
Because you can, for example, you could
and stuff,
reposition,
and place
tap,
it
and then dash behind
so
this
that
cover if you want to. Because you don't have to
essentially
stay controlling
funneling the
it
enemy
to
off.
sabotage.
Oh, and I can touch it from
Or
here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this negated that.
Give my guys some fun.
Yeah, sorry.
Here.
Rewind.
Cool.
We're gonna.
And to counteract.
So you can
Move out.
You'll get just the.
Sabotage this,
one.
and then dash
No,
it.
you'll get 2 counteracts.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the move. So now I've scored 1 crit off.
Yep.
Fully.
Cool. And
So this is when you start thinking about what your opponent's trying to do and base your game plan off that as well. Or use it as a consideration. Because if you're just thinking, oh, well, my one objective is champion, then he's not going to give that up unless you're really risking it. He's not going to one-tap someone with his passive pistol.
You know, I didn't know that I could touch
Yeah.
this. I thought, because my whole thing was, I actually was my initial game plan to come in here. Remember I was just saying to him, I'm like, I'm going to do something wild. I said, I'm going to touch this and deny him. Because he can't.
Yeah.
But
She doesn't
I
even
didn't think I could make it easy. Otherwise, I would have probably did this before I even moved him. Him, I moved because I just thought, I'm like, if he tries to charge me or if he tries to like bring action to me, he'll clean up whatever he doesn't, and that gets me 2 points.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like
If I
that.
poison one of your Marines with fear, I pretty much
So
consider
you
that
can
a
shoot
fair
me
trade.
if you can get this guy move and dash within 2 inches of me.
Yes.
If you want to try to retaliate against what I did.
Then he's staring down the barrel of the melter and I'm not going to watch it.
But that's my position. This is kind of what I know. That's kind of why I didn't want to play this map again, because I thought, I'm like, I did my homework on this map now. I knew where to go. The last game I just put my my eliminator up here and just
Sunbathe.
yeah.
You can charge over
But I
here.
played too conservative the last game.
Right?
Played way too conservative. I should have been more engaging. And I brought 2 stalker rifles. I think Vivek was right. I should have brought 4 chain swords rather than just 2.
You can
So
delay him by 3.
Yeah, and
I see him.
that's the one thing I do like. I know I'm good at that.
to me, it almost reminds me of like a MOBA.
Yeah,
Because I
three
come
legs.
from like, you know what I mean? Like I come from like playing League of Legends and like that. So I look at this, I'm like, it feels like a MOBA. All the little heroes, different abilities. It's neat.
You have to
Especially when there's only 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like elites for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I played against someone with ratlings and they were like, oh yeah, this guy does this.
Yeah.
This.
Very
I'm like,
well hidden.
I'm
That's
like,
too much.
I'm like, one of our guys does what 3 of these guys
Yeah.
do. So
There's a lot of mental load.
So just moving the bombardier up.
yeah, it felt like that for sure.
Rattlings are
Back
they're
to you,
not
Tom.
obvious.
There.
That's your move. Okay.
And so I feel like warp coven. 1 inch. Oh, inch in, inch out? Yeah, so you're forcing them to have to jump over the wall to be able to charge you. But it's relatively easy for them to get within 2 of you and shoot you. But you're still functionally in cover. So, say you do that, then it's somewhere around here. You cannot be charged from inside the wall. And you can't be shot from anywhere. They have to, you're forcing them to have to charge
You know,
over
let me
the
get
wall
some intel
within
here.
2 of you.
I think I could have done that on turn 1.
Actually measure it out.
Say again?
I think I could have revealed that on turn 1, but
No, you can't.
no.
And as
Only 2,
always,
3,
when you're doing that
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
Yeah,
relay
now you know what
intent
your objective
to
is.
your opponent.
Yes.
Because if anything gets knocked and they measure something out and go, oh, and now I can just charge you, and you're like, but I said I was inch in, inch out, like terrain got bumps.
Well, Jeff,
And it's a lot easier to do that on turn 2.
You don't want me to
my captain.
She's just gonna chill.
Spend it, expend it. Hint and hint, that's it.
Correct.
And I have 1, 2,
you don't
3.
have to be on the point.
So you're going to get the last activation this turn. So you can start thinking about, okay, if I have the last guy, what am I going to do? Because I can be a little bit more risky with the last guy, because I know I'm not going to get shot immediately
I
now.
don't want to lose an opportunity.
Because I can roll for initiative and have to get initiative. I can use them again, sort of thing. Or you can keep a salient safe by screaming someone who's going to then threaten him in response.
Just explaining why I'm passing rather than having my gunners running around doing a bunch of stuff because I don't.
Yeah, putting your gunner here.
I'm gonna come here so you can counteract the guys that are blowing
Yeah, and
away.
then you delay me here, and then you charge, fight, kill, shoot, kill.
The tech is fucked up. The tech is really, it's kind of fucked up.
Unless you use your.
Well, especially first aid.
Wasn't bad. There was an ocular.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Is there such thing as pre-measuring? What if I'm thinking like 3 activations in advance?
What is do you do your counteract?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, not,
Passing perfect.
I'm gonna try this. This is could throw the game or win me the game. Don't know yet. So I'm gonna climb the ladder, drop in, drop out. That's 3 inches. Move the rest of the way here. I'm going in and I'm going on engage.
Okay.
I can't throw a crack and shoot the Melta.
Correct.
I don't have a bolt gun for that.
So the thing
But I
to
can
consider
shoot the
is
Melta
if
and
you want me
hit
to
it.
activate first. Do you
No
want
cover,
command
no
points?
obscurity,
The first
straight
of
up.
those
And I'm
first
gonna
gets
do
less
that.
command points than the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Alright, boys, it's been an hour and a half. We're finally throwing some dice.
You want to start off by
This guy's going.
uploading.
I know.
Yeah.
Alright, let's hit it. Okay, Melta. So I'm shooting with my Melta into your flare. 4 attacks.
4.
4 attacks. 6 hits on 3, 6 threes.
So this is now hitting on 4s from your aura.
Contagion yet.
So I hit on 4s.
So I go first?
Oh, it's horrible. So I hit with a crit and a normal. Oh, so I only hit on 4s.
Yeah.
Do I want to? Hold on.
3 activation.
Listen, it's not Angels of Death where you can you got this.
No purity seals.
Okay, but hold on.
He's not injured, he can't just black out.
Wait, why not? He got devastating.
Oh, that is a great question. Let's have a look.
Oh, yes.
Tech, bro. Tech. This is VR. Never mind tech.
This is a very good question you bring up.
But devastating went through. Now you're wounded. It's the same. No? Maybe I don't know.
I would say no because it says when you're shooting a wounded enemy operative and at the point at which you start the shoot action, he's not wounded.
All right.
But that's exactly the right type of shit.
Alright, well, that was my first.
So, sorry, piercing?
Piercing 2, devastating 4, so he's down to what?
10 right now.
10 wounds.
You're not going to reroll any of your dice?
Can I?
You have command point rerolls?
Oh. Heart of the cards.
So he omni scrambled the flare, which is probably.
This is the move. Yeah, I got it.
He is.
Nice. So you have to
Man
force
point
the
reroll.
to 5. He's going to omni scramble
Yes!
the flare.
Oh, it goes through.
Makes sense. I spent 1
That's
CP
good
for
shit.
Stuff.
That's good shit.
Why not?
Which is the if you can't
So
see
you
me
roll 1 dice.
and I attack you, I can turn normal.
You can math this out now. You got 1 dice.
Now it is your turn.
He hit a
If you
1.
Again, that's what foil.
So
So you can command point reroll that. So do the maths right now. So you're at 10 right now.
You can do that.
You're only rolling 1 defense dice.
So this is
Regular
your-
do 6.
so 12 plus 4.
So even if you block a regular, you
plus
die.
3.
Just you're dead mathematically, right?
Dead on dice.
In fact, no. How much damage does a crit do? 3. So if you block a regular, then just a crit and normal. So if you block a regular, you live on 1.
We'll just do that.
So
Even
with
with my resilience rolling?
I'm still gonna play the
no, that's before your resilience roll.
Yeah, so I still have a chance.
So you still have a chance, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's try a command point.
Okay.
So his the scrambler thing he does.
Roll that dice out.
He plays it for
He's
free.
dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost him.
So you're down to 2 now.
Yeah.
So he did that first.
Okay.
You know he hasn't played any strategy and likely wants to.
him for his hubris.
My instinct is that I would play Darkest Death in the hope that if I did probably
I don't know.
very normal suppress.
You gotta bring
And I would play
that
with
boy
defensive one,
like
they
out
defense,
to come up to come shoot.
Is if there's heavy train,
Oh, I'm sorry, it's empty. That's
basically pop
no,
out.
it's okay. I brought that from home because I can't.
Yeah. It's just sometimes with our felt tables, sometimes it just like
Yeah.
gets.
Oh,
But it's
All
still,
the
yeah.
other things about, like if they're wounded, blah, blah, those are my only two that aren't contingent on him being hurt.
Colin, when you're able, can I have a thing of water?
Those are just the ones.
And yeah,
Do you guys need waters?
Like,
I got one. Yeah.
No, I'm okay, thank you.
like Merciless Sadists, friendly outfits.
You will still get a cover save.
That's
No, because you're within 2, so your treaty is not
right now.
Who's within 2?
Oh, who are you talking about?
No, if I move with my marine, because that's my
And shoot
last.
him? Yeah, then you.
Because that's my last activation,
Yeah.
so I can't really do anything.
So I'm probably gonna play that.
Okay, pass.
It's something you might consider before you do pass. If you come up onto this advantage, you can reposition dash. You're shooting a guy below you who's on gate, so you get an accurate one. That's something to consider. You then put yourself in such a position where you're obscured from the rocket launcher, that can save some of the defense. Not necessarily saying that's what you should do, but something to consider thinking.
So then that would be
4 inches of tax up, so 1 inch would get you like here, and then you've got 3 inches to do dash.
that would be up straight from him. Okay, let's try it.
I get a cover save,
There's 2 there.
but he gets accurate one.
Yeah, so they sort of cancel each other out.
Maybe playing.
Before you commit to this, just check your sight lines, because he can still reposition and then shoot from that angle, so it may not be obscured.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm in this window, you're not obscured,
Yeah.
But
and I can heavy
looking at
dash.
the way it's set up, what do you
Right.
think?
Shoot.
If he has
So-
the initiative, what do you
So
think
maybe
is
that's not
likely
the play,
to
but
be
it's
jump on?
just trying to
Something,
walk you
yes.
through some of the things to
Okay,
think
so I'll
about.
pass. Done.
He's either gonna tap a point or he's going to charge over here and stop me from tapping the point.
Kill that before it kills
Sabotage.
him.
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
tough.
sabotage your opponent's one, which you've already done.
So,
So if I
That's a
get her,
1-for-1 trade.
so if I get her red.
so what, am I gonna score for this one? Just
Yeah,
because I
you're
hold.
controlling it.
Making it so if
I
he
was gonna
starts
sabotage
and
it.
fights you,
She has brutal tail and rending.
right, and that's where you get. Oh, this is when you're not playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much it says.
Am I gonna? Is he gonna counteract that?
No, because this is the last activity. Oh no, you will get
I have
counter.
two.
Yeah.
That's normal difference.
Yeah.
If I get a guy on, just so I understand.
He's actually going to counter it twice, because you've killed the guy who was ready,
Yeah.
but you rocket launcher him and him, so he's going to get 2 counter.
No, he's already expended.
Oh, okay,
I
so
passed.
just 1 counter.
Yeah. So from my understanding of sabotage,
You're like, take it really good.
so it has to be wholly in their territory.
Intervening. You have to be more than 2 inches from enemies, and you have to have heavy terrain intervening or be underneath.
So am I gonna score 2 points just for having sabotaged this
Okay.
and
It's
holding
really
this? I don't need this.
Situation.
I won't even get an extra point for it. So no point moving in here.
Correct, unless you're staging for next turn.
Yeah.
So regardless, you did the Vox.
So
I
you
did.
box. He's gonna pass.
Okay, get a CP.
Are you gonna play a scrap foot?
Yes. Yes.
I think I would like to have Gorilla. That would let me do something sticky and change back to like
You can. Yeah. Exactly.
super safe. And then
It lets you shoot, go back to the zero.
exactly. And I'm also thinking keeping it safe by giving myself balance on my belly with lethal assault would be just in case he does go for a charge.
No, you have a way to
Move it a dash?
change.
Moving a dash to get
Isn't
big.
it one of your?
Yeah, my sergeant can change my strategy for
Yeah. So play
I
somebody
can
else
move him as far
and
into
wait
as
to
I
see if
want.
you need that.
I want to be
okay.
within
Right?
6 of
When
him
when can
Yep.
you change that?
and 6 of him.
one per battle.
Once per battle.
Yeah.
When when
And because I'm on the inside of this, if he charges into me, I will fight first.
Look
Yeah.
each of the bullets. You can reroll
And
your
if
initiative.
my guy is
once per
beside the
battle,
guy it's fighting,
and
do I
you
get
can
+1?
Only if they're both in
zero
combat with the
CP
same guy.
firefight point or
So if he was here, one's on engaged, so no one can shoot, but you can move.
Because I would probably need to
2
reposition
inches.
and dash if I wanted to get out because I mistakenly put this guy there.
If anyone's watching this game,
Masterclass.
A1 next. A1. You know what I had in mind if he didn't finish him? It's obvious he's gonna charge me or something. I'm like, box scream that. You gotta play him now. He was gonna get in there, and I measured he can shoot from there. And I was like, oh, okay.
And he
Let's see what happens now.
later on in the turn,
I like these
he
guys
can just
actually.
run over
The comboing is fun. There's not so much setup with the
He
angels.
puts an
It's
offense
like you're
pretty
either
out here.
what I
but it
found with them
depends
is
on
like
how
you're
the
either in a
rest of the turning point goes.
favorable position at the end of the second
You're
turning
giving
point
that options that
and winning, or you're just
depending on
not.
what happens
They
in
definitely
like the
make
rest of the
it
turning point, say he comes
Yeah.
in and kills your box.
Like I played Warp Coven one game.
Yeah.
Or these guys get shot.
I just got fucking beat up to the first turning point. I moved up. I didn't realize that he could shoot me from here behind light. Shot me, killed my marine.
Oh my
You're not
Okay.
worried about
GG,
this.
boys.
Yeah, dude, it was like downhill from
Let's
there.
re-rack and try again.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you want to go first? I thought it was to avoid
2-inch move
getting
only.
murdered by this thing. Because
It's just like the stage or something if you can.
Yeah.
I guarantee you if I was in his shoes,
Who's
my
in
first
here?
activation
No,
would
it
get
wasn't.
charged by
Oh, it's this guy. I don't know, maybe you move this guy
He can-
closer. I
yeah,
don't know.
because he can guarantee himself a crit and make it rent.
Warhammer would
And
probably hurt.
double parry.
I need to if you roll well.
Yeah, you're turning off his rerolls.
Yeah.
He's got a really nice.
She is my
Last
hands
activation of
down.
the turn.
She might look more intimidating. She is the best.
Well, he's not
leader
going to
in
get
the
his
group.
champion points. I'm going to take this and create a command point.
Okay.
So that's one APL.
Yeah, so she would still even charge. if I
I'm in
go
control range of that. Knock down
You
your
move over
Okay.
and come up.
That's it.
Imagine you're standing here.
Right,
She
that's
gets
turn.
on the shoes and
Turn
does
two.
4 or 5 damage.
There's no way.
Turn 3.
Now we're on turn 3, yeah.
You're standing
So
right
Carl, I
here.
definitely would have used the magic trick with the Trinity in its activation.
Yeah.
Remember, what was the thing you were trying to do with your tackle this turn?
Kill him. Or, yeah.
So why not set that up for yourself? Because now you get to reveal your attack up.
Oh, no, she'll be able to charge you.
Because you want to score that now. Contain. So he's trying to keep you out of his half. He scored that. You scored nothing.
9-inch charge.
So now you're actually tied.
6 up.
Although
3 over.
you've got the material advantage right now, you're still tied on
Yeah,
points.
through there, she-
Yeah, I know.
So when the ventriloquist went, you were in range and you measured it out. You could have had this guy dash and inch out 2 inches out. That means even if he counteracts, he's not getting behind cover. So your leader is almost certainly within 8 inches.
Because if you do that, you can.
Could very easily shoot, charge, fight.
More against here, wasn't
Good
it?
call.
And at that point, you've almost certainly got the kill.
Oh, the inch and inch out.
'Cause especially with an overcharged plasma.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
You're
remember
off.
He would have ate that.
announcing that.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think so. It was pretty.
Gotcha.
And then he's also very aggressively staged to then threaten these
Do
guys.
the inch and inch out.
And then if you win initiative, great. And if you don't, then you can Vox Scream 1, but
You just have them.
The rest is, yeah.
chilling out
Okay.
there.
Alright.
I don't know.
See it.
initiative.
So she was probably close to the
Okay.
I remember I was keeping good track of this guy, and her ponytail would be like the only thing shown for this one.
I will give you initiative.
But let's say you
Yeah,
did.
I'm giving you initiative. I'll take these two.
So I don't think there'd be a reason to, but she can't see you.
So I'll take
Yeah,
contagion.
you're not worried about
Okay.
it charging.
Let me just roll for my precious
So
points.
you want to be like
Okay.
that.
I get
You
two.
had all the movement to get there. Like you were positioning specifically
Okay.
so that you could get over here.
You're taking contagion.
You were positioning specifically.
one.
Well, you didn't.
No, he was doing the
I'm gonna
image
take-
stuff, so I couldn't fight
And
him.
he was going to be chargeable to that
Yeah,
either way.
yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's
I'm
still
gonna take me a
delayed.
come for you for one. That's the
So
if I
move-
charge you, I get to
You
do
have an
D3 damage.
Dude,
I'll take
Be
one
really
and death.
aggressive.
You're down to one, and I am taking.
You put yourself, how far can you charge with your reaver? You go
attack dice.
And your fancy new laser, just break this
Okay.
guy's cover.
Your activation, sir.
Remember to redesignate the champion.
Oh,
These are the kinds of things you're looking for. If you can't,
Melt is
essentially what
feeling
I'm
pretty
trying to
hot,
say
but
is if you
I'm
can't
still
get a
choosing
Yeah,
my
yeah.
Energy Reaver,
Okay.
you probably don't want
Don't want to sacrifice
take it.
that play.
That's what you're looking for now. You're going, is there any way I can kill
My
two
Waycaster
elves
can
with one
shoot hit.
stone? Or do I just
He's on engage. And how much range does your blade
No
have?
range.
Full range? Yeah, absolutely.
And it's Torrent 1, so he's in
Torrent
blast
1. Torrent needs valid targets.
You could move up.
Do you have your
shoot this guy.
keyword sheet?
Not this one at all?
No.
So Torrent, you select a valid target as normal, then select any number of other valid targets with X of the first valid target. So he's not a valid target to him right now, so
You wanna
you
get-
Torrent on him. Think of it like if you've got a
Somebody you can
flamethrower,
see them and have
you can
target
see him, you're
space
going to
beyond
spray him,
that.
but then if you
Fair.
try and spray him, he's behind the wall. So
Okay.
you're gonna get
This
fire.
is a better target anyway.
So let's
Yeah.
Contrast that to blast, where you throw a frag grenade, it's going to explode here and hit him.
fair.
You
Okay.
can shoot twice.
Alright, so
Switch back to conceal.
um
You're still on strategy phase, right?
Oh,
So
shit.
play.
I know what I
You're
should do.
shooting heavy
I know it's
team
gone.
anyway.
Plague Wind.
Yep.
You're just deciding, is there anything I'm going to charge and fight right away? Because if
Six
there
dice.
was,
Hit
then
it.
you'd be tempted to go for lethal assault, just to get your lethal shot. And then
What's
you
the-
later on you can switch
the
back to
keywords
free
on it?
right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Saturated Severe, Torrent
As
1,
it is, you have
Poison.
free action. You
That's right.
that's your option. You can charge, see if
And
you
it
have
hits
a shot.
on
You can jump up,
threes.
shoot twice, put your beacon, switch back to conceal.
But no piercing.
Everything?
No piercing.
No, and because I have Lumber and Death, I didn't move.
As far forward as possible.
Look at that. Now we're
Throw
talking.
yourself back here.
Everything.
So I get to roll 3 dice.
Yeah, 3 dice.
I save on 3.
Yeah.
My guys are all saving on 3s, yeah? Yeah, okay.
Which ones?
Let's see it.
On the kill for? No, you can
Okay.
put them.
Block,
You can't put
block,
them in your hand. You can
block.
put them on top.
I'm also
You can.
obscured, no?
So this is where we measure out. So you think from midnight clad.
Yeah.
So you've got to have him not within 6 inches of another guy who can see him.
Okay.
This guy can almost certainly see him, so
Okay, okay.
he's not in midnight clad.
So 3 normals go through. How much damage is that?
They are 2 each.
So 6 damage. So I'm down
And he's
from
poisoned.
14 to 8, and now poison.
There are no. At 21-2, there's no more risk-free decisions.
Yeah.
No.
We're out of
You have to
range
make
7,
a
so
choice.
that doesn't matter.
and try
I
your
can't
best to
shoot
make it
there.
pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I play, this is a highly aggressive team that I have consistently failed at because I try to keep everyone alive, and it's not the way to play this team. It's probably just not a play for a team in general. Right? It's about making smart trades at this point.
Okay.
What I should have done is dashed and then I could have shot twice.
Switching back to
He's got a pistol as well.
So do
No,
your
I could have used
big shots.
my 2.
You can use both of them. Nice.
Yeah. Because it would be in range 7.
No fears, no
So I should have dashed.
injury.
You can still dash now. Shoot, dash, shoot.
Okay. So then 7 inches would have been
Okay. Yeah, you write it down.
there. Pretty much to that point. So it would be 7 inches.
You measured that one.
I know
Yeah,
where
that's
that's like.
You play
I played dash.
Okay,
And then I'm
so I dash, so I'm going to shoot you again.
Okay.
Range 7, saturated, severe,
So is he
poison.
under 3?
4 dice.
Range 7. Saturate. Severe. Poison. On your bolt pistol?
if that's what you're doing.
No, it's not a bolt pistol, it's my entropy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. But I'm thinking
Just wait before you roll that. So
swap it.
they're both psychic weapons.
Remember then if you do swap
So
Oh, so you can. Yeah,
It's
that's
at
right.
least one of them is psychic.
Right.
So
but this
it's 2 shoot actions, a bolt action, bolt, and a psychic must sleep for at least one of them. You can't select the same psychic range.
really moved.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh.
Even then,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh no, you can. You can.
I think I'll
You can.
do
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was just double checking that. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Whatever happens, maybe I can switch to knife. Okay.
Ow.
Wow.
Nothing.
You still get lumber and death, right?
You can
That's
start
right.
on 3, and then if there looks like
So I
there's
go-
good
so-
shots you can take without moving, then
I have 2s and 1s. I can only roll 1 each set, right?
No, because you're outside of 2
Okay,
inches.
so 3 out of 4.
So he's turning on.
His flame skin only works when you're within 2 inches.
No
of
more
it.
deadly shots.
We didn't actually
Sorry,
read what it
Lumbering
said.
Death.
No
I
idea.
can reroll my
Okay,
ceaseless.
so
Okay, yeah, so it gives you ceaseless, in which
Alright.
case you reroll all your 1s or all your 2s. Yeah.
So I can only roll 1 of them.
Right,
I can't,
then
because they don't.
you did your
Because
scramble.
it's 2
you
1s
did
and 2
your pass,
2s. I can only
you
roll
played,
1
you
set.
played,
There's 2.
Yeah.
you passed.
But then if you wanted to command reroll some of the other ones,
Yes.
you can still do that.
2 command points.
Yes.
From your
5.
Sure,
You
of
said
course.
5.
From
And
6.
one's it's severe, so it goes up to.
Yeah,
I got
you
one.
did your comms.
And what's the key? So no piercing.
It'll be
No.
saturated.
There's a lot to
So
remember,
no more
right?
irritate.
This is why sometimes you write down. Sometimes you write down everything you do, so the next time you play the game, you're like,
Come on, Carl, give
Yeah.
us something.
remember to do this.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I just forgot it until this very moment. I get
So because he's more than 6 away, I can't just.
I'm gonna even paint up into my rooms.
No, the
Yeah.
idea to have
He's
a,
placed
have
himself
a
7
door where
inches
you're
away, so
constantly
you'd have to
going
move
through
I'll just
to shoot
drive
something
away.
else.
a strat phase sequence. Go
Forgetting a paint
yeah.
token.
Omni scramble.
Forgetting a paint token on a guy is the difference between having 3 APL or not. The difference between them being heal themselves or not. Like,
Yeah.
now the wing one
Should
doesn't
play
work
differently.
or it has one on him, so it just.
Who, you?
Yeah.
You have 2 agents.
I have
don't you?
1 agent.
Oh.
Yeah, I messed up on that.
Khan was also rolling column with defense dice.
Sorry?
Khan was also rolling column with defense dice.
Yes,
I've done it
no.
before. I've dropped the heavy gunner when I was
But I was
playing
thinking I should have played my
against
bombardier
Lanyards.
more.
They don't take piercing.
Yeah, maybe.
So I dropped the heavy gunner.
Throw a
for
blast
two
in there?
agents.
The blast would have been able to, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And it would have been poison on both of them.
exactly. Yeah.
I realized that afterwards. I'm like, oh,
Weird.
damn it.
So when you activate him, it's poison, so it'll take
1
damage.
damage.
So 1 inch to get up here. From here is gonna be 3 inches up. So I ignore the
That's
first
another.
one.
That's
To
another
climb
thing
is just
good position.
Why are
2
you
inches.
ignoring the first 2 inches?
I'm not
It's
sure.
when you drop, you ignore the first 2.
Yeah.
When you're climbing, you round up to the nearest 2, so it'll be 4 inches up.
So 4 inches up. So 1 over 4 inches up.
If you hadn't repositioned with him, you
And then 1 more. It won't get your base fully on, but as long as you're able to balance, you're good.
and then charge anything.
Something
Should
like
be able
that.
to. Yeah.
Because they climb
I would
for
go
2
down. I'm
and
just
drop.
thinking it out here.
Yeah.
Base to base it is for shooting, right? So I have it.
You just move.
Yeah,
5.
far free, yeah.
You functionally just move 5 horizontally. You don't have to worry.
So I'm worried now.
once you know-
My
yeah,
thinking is
yeah,
I've
yeah.
left him out in the open. What I should have did was
measure
return him to
horizontal.
darkness in my strategy phase. But now he's
From
stuck
where,
open.
yeah, from where you were. So, just
And I don't want to keep the pressure
throw
off
yourself
either.
back down and measure 5.
Why is he switching to engage?
He can shoot you.
Who did he shoot at? Why else?
I don't know.
You're behind light cover.
Shoot by myself.
And before I get to shoot, I'll find a beacon.
Oh, okay. Reveal.
Surprise,
One AP moves, 2 AP or plan to make him the 3rd degree shoot.
He plants for free.
So we shoot him for free for warriors.
Yeah.
So you can shoot him twice in the bolt. Cool. Love that for me.
If he doesn't kill you in
Oh, my duelist is going to hurt me.
now.
I think my duelist is probably
Shooting time.
So I came up here with my reposition. I take my 1 damage.
Actually
Wouldn't
got.
be a bad play.
I got
I'm
accurate.
at 7. Again, I dash here.
Why?
I'm gonna shoot down at him.
Okay.
So he's not in cover, not
Do you
in
have
see
him
or
use
he's
a knife?
This is where we get our laser out and just double check, because if he is in cover but you're just turning it off from vantage, he'll get your auto retain.
So then you
It doesn't matter for piercing, but
I was assuming you had a
so
knife.
from this you're going to check, and yeah, you've broken his cover line, so he's just straight up not in cover.
Actually. Oh yeah. I thought it was a different.
Typically, the play is knife and pistol.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
still a negative.
Max,
There.
is there any universe ever where you run a Reaver Polter with the carbine and fist?
Yes, there is.
Very few though, no?
This one.
You bring one guy and you put a Reaver carbine up here, and I've got accurate
So
2,
range 6.
and you can use special impact.
We're definitely
damage,
within 6.
it's still going to be piercing. Still the same damage profile.
It's on 3.
Accurate 3.
Devastating
Does it-
4.
can you get up
piercing 2.
to accurate
I think you can only get as far as
As
accuracy.
2. But he would get accurate 2 either from the first game.
Yeah.
So yes, I guess there's a world
So you
where
take
can
4
do that.
And
the
then
top
you
that
still
takes you
got
to
the same
10.
range by going 2 up, and then you've got 5-inch, 7-inch
So
charge
you
range
block
from the vantage.
one normal.
So you're still projecting a
So
wide
this is
threat range,
6,
and you've got a full range.
15.
But with a forward facing
So that would
reaver that you plan
you,
to,
so even if you save 3 damage, that would bring you back. No, so he's
Definitely
deleted.
give him a bonus.
yeah.
Pick the wrong champion.
Giving up the Reaver
That's
Riders
my
on the
problem.
Carbine, you don't want to get into combat as much, because
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
the biggest value from Reavers is stealth.
You're right.
Okay.
That's why
So you have a gun and
decided to
some-
not bring your full card. Brought his pistol. Now he's
And
gonna
you don't have accurate, but does have
He has
better
weapon
cover
dice.
saves.
True.
You have piercing.
Yeah, it's,
I have
we'll have to
piercing
test
one.
them.
Yeah.
He bought them for me, so I have no affiliation with where they. I don't even know where they came from. Okay.
You can
Yeah,
offer
yeah,
between
yeah. It's a
2
likely
normals
story.
or 1 crit.
You know
We'll
the-
swap dice next roll.
Yeah. That's a good one. You ever see that in a tournament where guys just like,
I have had a guy against me. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm sorry. I don't even want to. I'm just gonna take new dice. And
really?
No,
Eh?
you don't.
Wow.
You already have piercing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
both ends of the spectrum, either they're rolling really badly or really well. And like, whatever. I don't want to feel as bad. So I'm just gonna shrink them up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's when you resolve.
The problem is when the thought runs through your head.
Yeah.
So,
Can't get rid of
just
it.
gonna
Yeah.
shoot you. No hard feelings.
I like that. No hard feelings.
It's gotta be dice rolled at some point.
Ready?
Crit and 2 hits. And it is piercing, so you have 1 die to roll in your forearm.
Damn.
So you take a normal.
What is your normal damage?
I don't even know if I'm gonna paint this guy. He's just gonna go in a case, just like
I
that.
believe you can fire again.
No.
That should have been my champ. I don't know what I.
Yeah.
No, actually, I could shoot you.
You moved?
Yeah, yeah.
You haven't planted a beacon yet.
Or
You did? Okay, so move planted a beacon, you shot. You can't shoot him again.
the plant beacon was free.
Oh, that's right, because he has a free mission action. You can shoot him again.
Oh my gosh.
But if you charge him, you can't fight.
I go move him.
You want to shoot him
You
again.
can't charge his reposition limit.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just want to shoot him again.
Or he's shooting again or switching to conceal.
Or switching to kill. That was my thought, but pretty sure I know his fate.
I'm going to
So I might just
dash
wanna
out
keep
here.
that down.
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
I'm going to use
Yeah,
my
yeah.
Disconcerting mimicry.
disconcerting mimic cry to basically move your guy out here.
Dead, buddy.
So
Okay, alright. It was worth it.
Worth it?
That's interesting. Trading 1 for 1 is so here.
or maybe I'll make you a little more like that. So I'm leaving you there. Basically in range of this guy's. And I'm going to. Can I sabotage the middle one?
No.
No? Okay. I can only sabotage if it's totally in his zone. And I believe that's it for me.
Take his turn to charge and fight
Done.
What?
that guy up there.
To you, friend.
I'm going to spend 1 of the doses of toxin to get rid of the flies.
Is there any threats to your duelist right now?
No.
So now you're sort of incentivized to go with him to
Yes.
bring him out of harm's way.
That Reaver's not going anywhere for a hot minute.
Okay. I can measure it out, but I think you.
Yeah, you absolutely, yeah. You know you can charge him.
Don't spend too much
Yeah.
time thinking about moving him. He's getting box straight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You might as well think about what they're doing, because he's
It's up to
staying
you.
there.
You can, but
Go
if
through
you-
the motions. I'm going to activate my leader.
Yeah.
I'm just
When Tom gets to go.
and you
Yeah.
get the kill, you're just gonna get shot.
I actually like that ability. That's
Just gonna get
very
shot.
good. Very strong. But I do kind of want to play more of the horde teams,
Mhm.
because I see a lot of people play them, right?
Yeah, they're popular.
Not within 6. Very close. You can move over here. You were
So I can move, then dash through the door. Well, dash move.
What with him?
Yeah.
Him, I'm getting a Vox scream him. So what I'm saying is like, there's don't. If you, as soon as you go to activate it, I'm gonna say I Vox scream.
Agents that are sitting around
And you
doing
have to
nothing.
choose someone else at that point.
So I'm just telling you, don't think about him because he's stuck there right now.
But definitely go through the motions and force him to do that because now he has to spend the CP.
Right.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Oh, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cheeky. That's real. That's bad.
So then I can just move and dash into behind the door.
Well, so if you activate him, he's going to say, actually no,
Right.
choose someone else. But that at least costs him a CP.
You wouldn't
Yeah,
even be
so
able to
that's
stir
what I'm going to do.
and
Move
you
him
would-
and
you
that.
would shoot him
CP.
on.
Cool, so now choose someone else.
And I think you're focusing a lot on, hey, there's something I can attack right now. That's how do you gain pain tokens anyway? Just by injuring in melee or at all? By injuring, so getting them lower than half.
If I move,
Um,
put him.
I'd pop ignore
Well, that's-
stirring on something. Get the
What are you trying to achieve with that move?
If
right.
he comes there, I can shoot.
In counteract?
Yes.
Okay.
If you really got
But if I do that, I have to put him
choice
into
right,
active.
right off the bat is to kill that, then go for it. But I think that's a free confirmed kill token staring you in
So-
the face. And if you do
I'm
that
gonna flip
right
this
now,
guy to engage.
and then your operative dies, and then you
And he's still your
by the-
champion,
then
yeah?
say
Still
this
my
guy
champion.
dies.
I'm gonna shoot at
Like,
you.
say you get that
Supercharged
kill
profile
now,
with the
and then
plasma.
this person dies somewhere. You have
forget what
nothing
that does.
to collect
4 on
back.
3s, lethal 5, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And then
4,
you die
5.
and still
Piercing 1,
not
neutral
have
5.
to score.
Okay, cool.
You drop,
4, 5, not 5, 6, yeah.
you drop it
Not great.
when you're incapacitated.
3, 5 goes through, but lethal. So this is a crit. Normal.
What's the threat to your
2
home
misses.
objective
Do I
now?
want to command
Virtually
reroll
gone.
one of those?
And upload? Or like
No, I'm leaving
or
that.
even like
Sorry, no
move your
piercing,
agent
right?
over
Piercing
here
one.
and just
2 dice.
I mean, literally, he can use it again right here, stay concealed, not
yep.
So you
Block
block.
one.
You block the normal.
So go here,
So you take 4.
stay concealed.
On the I think it's been knocked around a bit.
So you take 3.
It's 3
12.
from there. 2 from here.
Oh no, you take 5. No, you took 5 with the crit. So you take
Oh,
4.
right, you are, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so you
yeah.
take 4
Now
damage.
she's not
Yeah, you
around
block the
to
red.
shoot
So
something
that's
that goes
13.
uncaged,
No.
but she's scoring you
So how many
points.
damage?
5 down to 4, so you're at 11.
11.
Scoring your points that your opponent can't take away from you.
And now
Go ahead.
we're going in for the big charge, where I have my D3 damage.
Nope, because it's not the first thing you did.
Oh,
Right, it's activation.
should I have done that?
She's
first?
literally not
Yeah, it's still the right way of doing it. You definitely shoot first.
You can
Alright,
go on.
So charging
You
you.
can go on guard.
I got
in
5
case
attacks.
somebody
Crucially, you're still getting your
shoot.
reroll because he's now lethal.
Oh, yeah, so I can reroll anything. Okay.
You
5
have
attacks,
more
hits on
than that,
3s.
Right?
4, 5 rending. So if I get a
Hits on
crit.
4s.
You laid these for a reason.
Because you're in contagion.
Oh, so you took 4. Let's see what happens.
How do you get?
Ooh, okay,
how do you
doesn't
get
matter.
better kills?
Crit, hit.
Have more than 2.
3, draw 1. Oh, and I get to reroll this.
You can be within.
Oh,
2 inches
baby, let's
of
go.
this and shoot something.
Alright, Emma, you get to roll yours.
5
They
dice.
saw 5 on 3s, 4, 5 severe poison.
Ooh, not bad either.
So I have lumbering.
You have lumbering, but that's a 1 in your next turn. It's mate skill, so you can't do it.
Okay.
Okay, so how do I want to do this? So because I got a crit, I technically got another crit with rending.
With rending, yeah.
Rending. Okay, so I'm hit. You have 11 health. Do 5
Be
damage.
within 2 of them. Shoot both of them.
So
But will he be...
No, if you're within 2 inches, whatever they're in cover from does not.
I should always hit him first, no? In a fight.
This is where you math it out, and you go, okay, 4, 5 damage, he's at 11, so whether I strike with a crit or a normal doesn't matter, because 3 hits is going to kill him. Aside from his damage reduction stuff. So you can think about how much damage you're going to be taking back. And so he's got a 4, 5 weapon. parry the crit.
available,
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
if he strikes you, then you can block that. Then you've got 2 dice left.
and you can come and
Just
play
start
with
thinking
it.
you need 3 dice to kill him. Essentially, that's barring any damage reduction. If you want to confirm it, then you can just start
still
striking.
plant your other beacon.
Make his damage reduction not matter.
And you're also thinking about your plant beacon for next turn, knowing that your Reaver is likely not on this world.
Yeah. I'm already made my peace.
No, I'm gonna strike you first for
Could it
5 damage. So you go down to 6.
You roll your damage reduction
He's
now. Yep.
making a big
So
impression.
you make it, so you're only down to 7.
Yep.
So to you,
Is that too much to know?
You can get there. I know you can. I measured it out.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to position it right.
We just got
This bear, this terrain was a bit knocked around a lot because you were like here, and it was like here.
I block your crit.
You get
so your crit,
my crit for your 2. Did you do it? Yep.
They're touching.
You bumped the base.
Yep,
So you
okay, I hit you again
Bumping
for 4 damage. Roll your,
don't be within 1 here.
so it goes down to 3.
Alright.
So now 1 more is going to kill you even with your damage reduction. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
should push through 1 more. Yeah.
So you can, and I take a poison. So your damage is 3 or 4?
4.
So I go down to 11. Or
Sometimes
that's a
the
normal.
sequencing is really important.
I can
like up
negate
here,
a
say,
normal.
here it wouldn't matter.
For just
but
the
some
prescience
operators
point?
are able to do like
I do that.
3 other kinds of actions instead of like plant beacons or 3 like sometimes I would
So I don't take this yet. So now I hit you for 4 damage. So you can roll to.
You're
that in.
free.
No, you
wouldn't
can-
have been
He's
able
on
to-
3, forward goes 3 and kill
Okay,
him.
so you're dead.
If it could, I would have seen how the shot goes.
Brutal.
Okay.
Oh, and I get the 2
Kill him in 1,
freaking points,
everything's
dude.
great.
Yeah.
I'll play my
Ah.
beacon, I can seal. If I
Give
have
me
to
that.
go in 2, I'm gonna save my free action.
Okay, we're-
Right, so that's shoot, charge, fight. That's his turn.
To some degree, or put down a smoke or something. Here it
Counter
doesn't
that.
matter all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
much because you can get
Put
charged.
down here. So you can shoot either of these. Well, you can shoot this
Like
guy.
sometimes that mission
You can
action
use
put
this
on
guy
the
to shoot
dark
either of these
sometimes that
guys.
mission action is
You got some
do
options.
all your shit and then instead of playing a beacon, just close this door.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an action spent for them. Cool. Alright.
Yeah. And in this case, you care more about killing this
Yeah.
than that.
Still play with on him.
I'm actually thinking
Okay.
of using my special issue application on my
Yeah. Yeah. Give you piercing.
uh,
Once per turn point.
yeah.
And for 1 shooting action, right?
So everything, well, one
Yeah.
doesn't go through.
And you've got
Would-
your Bring Death Lead.
Yes.
Until the end of the turn, their weapon has piercing 1.
Okay.
Okay. So do you have a marker?
No
for
piercing,
that?
right?
No.
Let's use.
Doesn't matter. Okay. That goes
Do
through.
you know the marker?
Fails.
This is this one?
2s and
Yeah.
3s.
So what do you got?
Check that out.
Your plague went severe, right? Did you get a crit?
Yes. So 3, 2, 4, 6, 9.
I can only use that Persian Psychic once per turning point. Okay, so how much? 9?
9.
9 goes through,
And you're poisoned.
and I'm poisoned. So now I'm down to 6. I'm therefore injured.
Nice. 2 crits. There we go, buddy.
Here, I'll put this for injury today. Will injury at that time. Okay,
Alright.
back to me.
7 damage. Unless you pay for your
Yeah. Let's do that. Actually. Yeah.
I'm going to.
You got my D3.
Dash. Sabotage this point.
It's a guarantee. The lowest
Yeah.
you can roll is a
But I got a crit. Now. Should this another
I'm going to reposition to the front of the door.
like what?
Still in there.
1 crit. 3 hits. Let's go.
Back to you.
I'm on the ring now. Shoot him.
3 hits.
3 toxic now because it's bolt gun. It's 4 dices, hits on 3s.
That's the double kills that you
Yes, I never would have had the balls to just fucking do it. Let you put that in.
Remembering?
it's I like that.
Oh yeah.
I tend to have an aggressive
No.
play style. As soon as I use it into some of my plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So we're going to what's your damage?
5 and 4.
Avenge your buddy.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. I take a normal, so
Yes,
I'm down to 2
absolutely.
damage or 2 health,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Punish the hubris.
Cool.
Right. Make sure you have 1 out, 2 over. You're fine. I think here is just right. You can have your 1 deal like a bit of a diagonal
Well, this
there.
guy passed with me.
2 over.
I'm like, why do I have another guy here?
Remember, can you see him from where you were already?
Or I need to be on this.
Or on
You
the
could
middle
have,
one.
but he'd be obscured.
No, I want a clean shot on him.
Here
A clean shot.
is.
This is gonna drive me nuts. Okay, so 2 inches up.
Mm-hmm.
So this gets me here 2 inches in and drop down.
So you use 4 inches of movement.
4 inches to get right in there. 2 inches gets me right on the center. And then yeah, and then I'm gonna just like kind of dash to the wall, like right beside that guy.
Okay.
And that's it.
Mark him.
Spend it.
Right, keep this guy here.
And that's turn.
That's turn.
Cool. So Omar, one thing I would suggest with your counteracts there, he was at full health, he's at 7.
So
He doesn't have visibility of him. What I would suggest is
with your heavy dash,
plague with him, and then you can. Then if this guy's still poisoned, then you're taking 1 threat completely off the
if you
table.
did this,
It's less likely to kill him.
Right.
But you've made it so that
And
where you are.
Calm, you forgot your grizzly trophy.
What about his
So this is what this has happened so many times to me, and now we're past the point where.
It matters.
Well, if you forget it in the moment, then.
What does it do again?
It means they get 1 less attack dice when they're within 3.
Right, because you.
So I would say you've forgotten that, and so you don't get to use it until you get an opportunity to pick it up again.
So if I move him,
Just because if you're punished for forgetting it, you'll remember it in the future.
Yeah, it ends at the end.
Next time.
Guard action.
Alright, cool.
move him there.
Roll for.
You also forgot it over here for what it's worth.
He's not
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were within 2.
Yeah.
So your marks, now this guy does. He can see him.
Waste of
Doesn't
equipment.
even have to move.
Yeah, I know. Alright.
Which is the worst feeling when you get to the end of the game and you start looking at your equipment cards again. Damn, I've forgotten.
Yeah, that's power, man. That's okay.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh.
We had it last time.
Yeah, you give it to me.
Who went
I
first?
like
Who chose?
I gave it to him.
So you get to choose this time, Omar.
that.
So last turn,
You're
in fact, at the end of last turn, where were we out on secondaries? So you got your champion.
Yeah.
You've lost.
Contain. I don't think you're wholly within the half, but not wholly within 4 of the half. I think it is.
Okay.
Within 6. It needs to be wholly within 6 of drop zone.
You have.
Not wholly.
So not wholly within. So you only get 1 point on that one.
Oh, you played from guard.
Still better than nothing.
Yeah.
I thought you played the when they're
Okay.
wounded.
No. No one put it over.
Oh, okay.
No one's looting.
I'll go first.
Okay.
For jumping.
Great question.
I'm gonna
for
roll my
today.
correction.
Yeah, they all did. Yeah.
Can I roll it in there?
And then you can jump anything that's 4 inches.
Still
So
one.
This is not a valid jump.
Yeah. But and for dropping
I'll
into
take
the
contagion.
floor, I can
Yeah,
only
you
jump
can-
out 4 inches.
Yeah, you
You
can
took
jump out,
contagion.
but 4 inches. So you wouldn't be able to jump like over
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But you could jump from here and get to the other side of that pretty well.
And those 4 inches, it's because the jump is 6.
Just like here.
Yeah. But it's
You're gonna go first, you said?
No, it's always.
I'm gonna take black hunt.
You can
So I
jump
get to
4
reroll on
Okay.
against anyone I'm fighting that's damaged.
And they just you can't
And I'll take one
get up
ring
on
that.
top of the barricade and jump.
And I am going to take
Like it kills them. Like yeah, you have to jump off of somewhere you can set up.
So question on my 5 boy.
That's it.
Sickle and resilience.
Mhm.
Would that work on
This is
both
important
initiative
when
boys
you
as it
shoot
is, or would it
and
only
dash away.
care for one?
So that he doesn't
In terms of you shoot twice,
Yes.
you can only use deploy once per turn. It's only going to be used when you're taking
If
damage.
you incapacitate someone and you have a quick
Yeah.
weapon, you can dash.
So it's only going to be for one of those fights.
This is TP4, yeah?
Yes.
TD4,
Okay, dude.
who's your champion?
really good.
Remember to nominate that every turn.
He doesn't ignore obscurity. So you can
And if they die, I can choose someone else.
take your
Well,
unobscured
only
shot,
next turn, but this is the
dash
last turn.
again,
Oh, shit.
be here, be in cover, and obscured. So this guy.
So your champion
has a tough
for the
time.
turning point.
That's a good. I like that. Here's a. I'd be tempted even then to use your agent to wound that guy first. How much damage does your big guy do?
6, 7.
It would pierce too. Yeah, I mean it's
I'm gonna.
So
That's
for
a
power
ten.
from pain, what you can do is Dark Animus, that's 1 APL.
My skin thief.
Trigger next activation.
Okay,
You
skin
gain
thief is
4
champion.
after your performer action. D3 plus 1, sorry, it's not 2D3, it's 2 plus 1, so okay.
Okay.
Free dash action name is performer dash if you run
Plague went
6.
into him.
Box me.
And this one used to be ceaseless, now it's fast. That had nerfs.
That costs you 2 this time because you've used it
Oh,
before.
really?
So every time you use it, it gets more expensive.
Oh, I thought it was only within
Yeah,
that turning
actually,
point.
No, because you can only use a ploy once per turning point.
And now if you put then in
So first time you use it, it costs 1, second time 2, third time 3.
you already would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep in mind that if we end up contesting
That'll
one
put you to
of
0
the
CP.
characters, unless I have a pain token
No.
on the guy, you will always
Alright,
end
hit
up
him.
contesting with you.
Play it.
I have
Oh,
what?
two.
Yeah, because you always have higher APL and it's based on APL unless you have a character
Oh,
with the
wait.
ability that.
So
there's
there's
some
one
people who
dead
do it.
boy.
The reavers do.
There you go.
We can math it out even if you block all 3 or take all
Even
3.
Well,
So it's close, it's not mathematic yet because
As I
that's
said,
what it's there that he needs.
nonsense.
But he is dead.
I'm dead.
Unless you will.
with the point.
Nah, I'm dead.
Do I
Okay.
either have to be cautious
Okay.
about where inside to put them?
Yeah, you don't want to get shot at.
Yeah.
Did you poison any of your blinds?
No, he didn't take the fear with
Like
it.
this has a pistol.
Yeah.
If he charges, bites, kills you, and
love
it's a
that.
shot.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the fear
They can't shoot through the bolt.
No.
Oh,
no,
took
but if they can
the
see
box,
down.
or the, you took the
You
ventriloquist?
could go right
Took the
in.
ventriloquist, rocket, heavy gunner with
Go
missile
in,
launcher. Sorry,
I hit you.
gunner with the melter.
Next turn, yeah, just
Creature, skin thief.
Okay.
I guess that makes
Drop
sense.
it.
in worst case scenario,
Yeah.
if
Well,
you
I'm
die,
behind
how
cover.
are you gonna get
And conceal.
So entropy, if I can see him,
Because you can't.
7 inches.
Entropy
This
isn't.
one now.
You doing poisonous miasma instead?
You can plant one over there,
Just to give him 3 damage.
right? That circumference.
Oh.
Or you can plant one over here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a poison.
No.
It either gives him the poison or it gives him 3 damage if
It
he's
would
already got one.
be
Right. So
okay.
I'll give you a poison then.
Here.
So I can see him though, even though he's behind cover and.
Yeah, because this is just
This one.
select one enemy operative visible to. And with
Okay.
7. It doesn't ask for a
So
balance.
I'll give you a poison token.
That's an APL or no?
Yep, one APL.
So you can.
And then I can hit him.
hit
Maybe
the-
drop me.
He's within 7 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because he's not a valid target to get shot.
You can move
4 dices.
5 inches.
Against him or
Have
him?
a guy hang back and run turn.
I can hit him, right?
No, because he's concealed in
Oh,
cover.
concealed.
At all, yeah.
It's not a waste of an activation.
And you've got 5 on
Okay, then I'll kill him.
threes, 3, 4.
Okay.
Right, so next turn, if your box breaker has to,
I can
you
reroll all
be the
3.
guy who charges
If
twice.
they're all ones and they're
Yes.
ceaseless, yeah.
Plants a beacon. But then you need him to be alive. Right? 'Cause then unless this guy.
How much damage does it do?
You'll have no way to plant
3 to 7.
here.
So basically I'm dead no matter
Yeah,
what.
it's be 6 inches away.
Because you've got, well,
Yeah.
roll it
I
because
find
it's not
it
quite
interesting
certain
that
just.
you don't wear board space
I
or
block
else
2
when
normal.
now beacons and wasting it.
Yeah, you take
Yeah.
14.
But you planting beacons that
They don't do anything.
screw over your future.
But then
characters.
he
So Omar, one thing to consider in that turn, he's on 2 health, he's poisoned, and he's taking poison vex, which does D3 damage. So you've got a 66% chance that he'll die as soon as he's activated, if you're within 3. So what I would suggest might have been a better option there, is charge both of these guys, or maybe even charge all 3 of these guys, and then as soon as this guy activates, he might die immediately, and then he's wasted his activation as well.
Okay.
When this guy activates, he'll also take D3 if you do shoot this guy, poison this guy, charge this guy.
For markers.
Right. Okay. Good to know.
Because then you're wasting his activation and still killing him.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's more likely than not because you're looking for a 2, 3, a 3, 4, 5, or 6. Or
Put
Right.
it on top.
Okay. Good to know for future.
the poison's really powerful when they start getting low because they have to activate you, then they get poisoned, and then they die. And if they die on poison, you get to go again.
Seek light and ignore obscuring for everyone. Cool. Not really. For the first turn, you did it because. You had
Question.
nothing else.
Can I see the laser? Can this guy see him from here? Through this window?
So visibility is just can the head of him see any part of him. So get down low and see if you can see any part of him.
I can see this.
Yep, that's part of the
You
model.
you have choices.
It's going to be obscured as hell though.
I'm just saying before you pull the trigger on that one, you're in the anti-rerolls field.
So is it worth
So
not
it's
critting
safer
and
to bring it
dropping
down
him?
as much as it-
But the thing is, it's like,
Okay. Knowing that
What
the
else
way
is he going to do?
yeah, what are you gonna do to me? Yeah, I'm shooting you obscure.
And in fact, what else is that rocket launcher going to do for the rest of the turn?
yeah, exactly.
Okie dokie.
What did we talk about for this?
Sorry, so heavy gunner, missile launcher, crack profile, piercing 1, 5, 7. So this will be 4 attacks.
If he makes the kill.
Not great, but 2
You get a
hits.
double dab. Oh, you can do it anyway. Yeah, you can decide. Yeah.
And drop
So-
one hit because you're
double
obscured.
dash after
So,
you shoot
normal.
anyway, right? Okay.
And
you're
piercing
miles ahead of me.
Is it piercing
Sorry,
1 still
carry
count?
on.
Yes, so you roll 2 dice.
This is what it reads. The operative may immediately perform a free dash
Okay, so you
action,
block it.
even if it's performed action prevents it from performing a dash.
Beautiful.
So you can just shoot and dash twice.
Yeah. Switch to engage.
Yeah, done. He's done his activation.
Okay.
See you.
So, the heavy gunner. Now, of course, it's going to totally whiff, and this will be amusing. Be very anticlimactic. So, 4 attacks hitting on 3s.
That's why you have command point reroll. I love seeking command points.
Hitting on 3s, piercing 2, so you'll have 1, 2. Now, is my visual to him? Do I drop his stuff? Can he see me? He probably can.
That's where you start instead.
Never friendly hand on that one. Before you turn
What equipment you, what faction?
Isn't a valid
Or
target.
what
I'm
is
not a valid
something in?
target for him.
No.
So I can turn normal to a crit.
Just Black
Yeah.
Hunt, right?
Yeah.
Black
Okay.
Which is
Rerolls if you
Yeah,
take
wait,
damage.
you're shooting me? Yes. Okay. You have one.
then
How many dice do I throw?
One.
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
so if I move
Crit. Okay, take.
here,
You say one
line of
normal?
sight with him.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just obscured.
14 points damage.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
But
it's him.
I'm in midnight clad here.
Oh, and you're outside of 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you would be
Super
obscured.
dead.
Yeah.
Now, before you remove him,
Okay.
this is important, right? Within.
Oh, he's doing
Yeah.
kill
So
confirm.
he reveals his tack off. You can even put it here,
Which I will, because that's smart.
right?
Yeah. It's easy to pick up.
And now you can do your. Now you can take it.
So if you look at, because you have a wound, total of 12 or more, you have 2 fatal wounds.
There's your.
That would be the only
He
move I
will
could do.
be fired, and he will dash. And then he will spend a fatal to dash again.
So effectively move dash to shoot once.
Yes.
Spend that for an APL.
Where do you want to be? Because you're unengaged.
Yeah.
Don't.
I can shoot there.
Yep. You're
Just
unengaged.
retain
So where's the best
save, right?
defensible position to be safe?
I wouldn't retain a save. We're just going to have to check if you are
He hasn't gone.
breaking his cover line. I think it's going to be close, so you measure from this side of your base. Yeah, so you can definitely shoot him. You're not going to get a cover
No,
save,
I think you have him. You have him.
but it will be obscured.
Right. It's now right
4 dice.
in cover and obscuring from this guy.
Yeah.
If something else shoots at you, they ignore obscuring anyway.
So you
right?
negate one normal, the piercing or the crit goes to a regular.
And you have operatives that can lay out.
Pick up the total.
Right?
He has to pick it up.
Negate.
No, if you control it at the end of the turning point.
Oh, it just
score it. Yeah.
So it's within 1 inch.
Brutal.
Time for the revenge, buddy.
You going right for it?
charging.
Oh,
So because that is my first move, that's D3.
But you didn't do with comfort this time. You just
You know what? Good for me.
you can
for me.
shoot kills with that to conceal.
It's all
and
good.
start
That's what I was gonna do.
Charging
only if
into
you get the
you.
kill on the first
I
shot.
have ceaseless, lethal 5s. Whenever you're within 3 inches of me fighting, you cannot re-roll your attack dice. And if you were wounded, I would have lethal 4. So I'm good.
Okay, I already answered. Oh,
But this is
Sorry.
something
But
that
it-
has to
So
take.
yeah, 5 attacks
You-
actually.
Yeah.
Max was saying that adds up to piercing too.
Oh, horrible roll.
This thing is useless.
Oh,
Hitting
for
normal.
ceaseless.
Which isn't a bad idea. in this
Thank
game.
God for
Piercing
ceaseless.
piercing
Oh.
1.
So
So
crit,
you
hit,
so out of
hit,
your
hit.
What do you hit
whatever
on?
dice, like 4 or 5 whatever
Threes?
you want, you retain
So hit on
two
4.
of them as successes,
Hit, hit.
which isn't necessarily
Hooray.
a bad idea in this case. So
Triple crit.
So
Yeah,
that's
you
on
use
break
eight
knife.
ones.
So it's on 4s.
Normal hits do the job. Then
He's
they do the
already
job.
used his critical spot though.
Right. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay.
So.
So what kind of damage do you do?
And reroll the next dice, right?
Nope, we didn't take that.
He is my playcaster, so
Severe, so you get a crit.
yeah, severe shock.
Shock and stab.
Yes.
I'd consider on
So
on
minus
an
1
explosive
ATL
turn
because you
22,
retained the
I'd
crit.
consider more strat plays in the future. I thought I was getting that point across earlier.
So my crit
It, one way to learn is
will
by
block
getting
your
shot
crit.
at.
So if you're using the accurate,
to you.
you would take those dice out of your
Oh, yeah,
pool.
yeah,
You
right,
don't
right.
even- you don't even
I knew I was forgetting something.
Well, you
Well,
just
mine
put them down
normal
as normal
can't.
hits. So what does he
You
do?
have
Two
to.
normals.
Two.
One crit, right or
So
no?
you put down 2 twos.
Not in
But
fighting.
you are shocked.
They're functionally
Take away your
nonetheless
crit, so that doesn't matter.
for
So you
teams
just
that interact with specific numbers.
So I'll hit you.
It's just there
How much?
so that I know what you're hitting on.
Threes.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 11. I hit you for 5.
And
Roll your resilience.
yeah, he's dead.
You can save.
So it goes through. So you're down to what? 9?
Two saves, right?
Yeah.
Two saves.
Do you have saturate?
No.
What's your profile?
It's just
So I'm going to.
I'll hit you.
So you can
Oh, it's your turn. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I hit you for the 4.
Oh, but he's
3. So I'm down to 8. I'm not.
Oh, you're
I'm
3,
not
4?
injured yet. 8.
3, 4,
Now
yes.
you. No, I hit you.
And he
Or wait. Or I could parry this.
You
Yeah.
want a crit
No,
save
that's
anyway.
already gone.
Oh,
So
this is already
first
gone.
thing was parry, then 2 hits. You've got the last dice.
So I hit you for 5.
Higher chance of getting a
So
crit
you
these
go
days.
down from 9 to 4.
Yep.
2 normal saves.
Okay. And that's the end. Because I don't have another APL to fight him again.
Correct, because you were stunned.
Traded 1 for 1
Okay.
with a Marine.
I will accept
good.
that.
He gets concealed using my gorilla action.
All I have left is this guy.
On
to
the
move.
horn.
Check for your
And
card.
he can't shoot
And
him.
score your points, Jeff.
Got it.
I have that guy in the full range of those. So he can move up my agents forever. You all move. I'm gonna pop out 2. 2. 2.
Dash, easy. Make sure you're right in cover and stuff. And in this case, right, because he has somebody on guard, you would probably want to just normal dash
And
and
he's gonna have
stay in cover, and then reposition. So there's no, because if you did it the way you had just measured it out, you would finish your dash right here and get shot at.
Right.
Now I have no other option. This guy.
Yeah.
Go into a fray.
Better?
Yes.
So I'm gonna activate my ventriloquist. He's going to take a damage
Should I
because he's activating, taking him down to 14. He's gonna go in to engage. First thing he's gonna do. Well, I can't use that pulling ability again.
No, you already used it.
You
So you
actually
can do the
based
order
on
change.
your order, right? Yeah, if you're on conceal, you can counteract reposition.
Okay, so I'm gonna change his order to engage.
If you're in counteract conceal, you can do anything you can do on conceal.
Okay. bolt
buddy,
pistol,
if
he's
you're
gonna
worried
shoot at him.
about a friend getting shot at,
So range 8,
like you could
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
it's
have
on
your comms
3s,
guy go
3-4
over,
damage,
smoke him, or
and
him
you're gonna
if
get a
worried
cover
about
save
getting
from that.
shot
My
at.
comms guy, I forgot about that.
So you get an automatic save.
I don't know where.
Make sure you're in position to be
Okay.
able to plant your home
Hit
beacon
everything.
for the next 2 turns.
Oh yes.
No piercing,
Lots to
right?
think
No
about.
piercing.
Last.
So you get 1 auto save.
You're controlling the
Okay, so then you save another
objectives
normal.
for
So you
now.
take a crit, which is 4, and a normal. That's 7 damage. So you roll your 2. So you save 1. So you take
5.
6.
Save 2. Save on 4s.
Save on 4s? Okay, I keep forgetting that. Okay, so 5. So you're down to what? 9 damage?
Yeah.
9, 9. Okay, I'm gonna shoot you again.
Okay.
If I put him over here, or even, how much does it have?
The 6 and 9 on those
Yeah,
drive me
I was
nuts.
just gonna say which one's 9 and which one's 6.
Okay, so shooting.
No.
Okay,
You get your plants of 2.
Two per round, one in each drop.
he's wounded, so I get to re-roll that.
You're at
Yeah.
2.
I won't count that.
Video.
I will count that. Okay, hitting on everything again. Okay, so you take 1 normal damage.
Like,
2. So you're down to 7.
Yep.
What is he gonna get shot at from?
Not even injured. Nice.
You could even go to engage and you don't
Calm, did you
really
take
care
crack
about
grenades?
anything.
Yeah.
What's your elixir?
Wait.
Would have better throw a crack grenade and then shoot
Then
him.
shoot this. You know what I was worried about? I was worried about killing him. Because I need him to get the kill, actually.
4 on 3s, 2, 4, equal 5.
So countering?
But obscured unless
So
you
you're counteracting?
So fight with him.
even then.
He hasn't gone yet though, so you get to go with him.
No, I moved him.
Oh, you have moved him?
Yeah, he
Oh.
was here.
Make sure he's
Oh,
fixed
sorry.
upside down then.
Sorry. I thought this was. Anyways.
If you're on engage, you have more options for your counteract.
Yeah, fighting with him,
Move up
so
to the zone counteract.
4 dices.
You can move up, dash, tap the point, go engage, be ready to do anything later.
Everything.
Nice.
Or move up, hit the point and smoke grenade himself. If
Yeah.
you're worried about getting
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
at next turn, whichever one.
Go.
Position
Okay.
you are.
You're in position.
This is a crit. That's lethal 5.
Lethal
Like
falls
this,
now because he's
shift
taking
go
damage.
over and
Oh,
shoot.
yeah, lethal 4. So.
He wins initiative.
Go ahead.
Ceaseless.
She's pretty good at that.
Wasn't it?
So I'll hit you.
I take how many?
4.
So I'm down to 4, but you're dead now. Because I hit you for 5.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah. So he's okay. So he's done, no? Okay. Now I have 1 activation left. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Reaver should be.
Well, I'm also thinking of putting in the CP and just bringing an activation to make him use up his.
He's spicy.
So 2 inches up,
As it
and I
is,
charge him.
Okay.
he won't get any
Chain,
counteracts.
chain blade.
If
I
you
think
do that,
is?
he'll get 1.
Skin thief. Yeah, chain blade.
would be effective then.
He's not poisoned
He
though, right?
dashes up there.
Oh,
and does her thing.
sorry, I thought he moved someone else, but yes, no, he's not.
And also for when they activate.
Well, he's already active this turn. I don't care about him.
He's on
Okay,
guard.
so
if you get the
5
kill
attacks,
here,
hits
he's
on
gonna shoot you.
4s
Yeah.
because you're there. Yeah, hits on 4s, 4-6 rending.
But if you pass, he'll get more chances to shoot.
Hit.
Could you
Hey.
charge him through the
Well, it doesn't hit.
You
But I
can
have.
charge that guy instead.
Yeah.
But I have
Just one
Still
reroll.
in the
Yeah,
the
one
reroll
reroll.
field. I'm saying,
No,
you're,
but he doesn't have it.
he has it passively all the time. 6
Brutal.
inches passively all the time.
But then 8
The other
inches
thing
is
is 8 inches
So
goes
that's
through.
my icon,
Other stuff.
that's
Yeah, there's
How did I say?
every
3s.
No?
No, 5.
You think you can
Play
hit
that.
12 wounds and
Oh,
knock
yeah,
him
yeah.
out?
that guy?
Go for it. Go for it.
That guy is shooting.
Either one you want. Pick one. Try to kill it.
Fire.
Yeah, now.
I kind of want to take him.
End of the game.
She's sort of safe from those guys.
And if you get the kill,
What's
you
Plague
can
Knight
toss
got?
for a 30 APL and you take
3s and 4s. Yes,
So
very important.
she's gonna charge around the corner through the door.
Yeah,
3 and 4.
measure it. Measure it.
How much damage? That's 3 and
Yeah,
4s, you
I'll
said?
pop the extra
So I
lethal
carry
on
your
her.
crit.
Sundays?
When do you have to decide that right now?
No.
So I hit you.
So that's for 4 damage.
He's fighting a retaliator,
I'm
so
down
if you melee
to
weapon, you can use
10.
this rule.
You're
If you don't-
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
when
that's
you- when you fight.
He's fresh.
So I can look at my dice and be like, hey, I have 3 5s.
I will. So even if you hit me with all of these,
Before
I'm
you
only down
start
to
rolling.
1.
Okay, so I have to decide.
I hit you with 1.
Essentially, I guess, yeah.
Then
Well,
technically I
I'll
kill you
measure
with my
your
first
five.
attack next
Yeah.
turn.
No, she doesn't
Or
already
carry
have
1, you still take me down to 4.
So,
And I gotta roll through 2 phases. No, I think I'm gonna do the.
one out around the corner.
That's a crit, so you're down to.
No, that was
So that's 6 damage. So you'd be down to 1.
Well, if I roll.
Well, roll. Yeah, roll your damage. So down to 1.
If you do the 2.
So now you would do the 3 damage to me. That's 9. That brings me down to 1.
So why did you parry as your first dice then?
3.
I know I should have just fought him.
You've got 12 damage to give out. Unless he parries.
So you've got 6
I'm
left.
stupid.
It's also, you have 2 crits.
Yeah.
He's got 1 crit, so you strike with 1. He parries, you're not killing him. So it's a really good time to use your remaining command points
Oh.
to reroll, because this is the last activation of the game, right?
So I charged him. I can fight him again.
You can fight him again, yes.
Oh, that was the plan there. Okay.
Sure.
on either side of his face.
If that was the plan, then that works.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can try and maximize it and be more efficient and just do it in one rate.
Gotcha. That is better. Yeah,
So now you can.
So basically, you can roll, but I'm gonna hit you first. You're dead. And I score my my attack off for that.
On the point.
Yeah, on the point.
So end of the turn. No tack up points for Omar. 2 for you. Crit up points. No one's tapped any. You're not on this point, so no one gets any on crit up this turn. So where are we at?
I think I can shoot her.
So for the crit off, I think I scored 2 in the second turning point, and 2 in turning point 3.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Yeah, 4 on crit up for you. Omar, I don't think you got any crit up points.
No. So this is
You got 2 tack up turn 2, 1 tack up turn 3, so 3 points on tack up for Omar.
Like likely he can move
And then kill up. So you both started with 6.
What I'm saying with the guard.
Omar, you were left with 1, so Calm, you're at kill grade 4, going up to kill grade 5. And now 1, 2, 3, 4 left, so you kill 2, so you're at kill grade 2.
So in this situation, if you say, if you do that, my guard.
And then what was your respective primaries?
And you
Crit.
go, I wonder if that's true, and then you go around.
Crit,
double check
crit.
for yourself,
So that would be 2 bonus points and
Yeah, because it's huge.
0.
and if you.
Whatever you did.
Good game, gentlemen.
GG's, dude.
Whatever you did.
Holy.
I fixed it a little bit.
Yeah.
This was a good one.
That's the other
Yeah.
thing, keep in mind. Anytime
You know what?
you're moving
I think I
around,
understand now
your
why
options
it's better to
for
move away from the
visibility
angels a
and
bit.
cover
There's-
and all these
Try something a bit
things.
different.
There's so much more functioning, like, I don't know, there's so many just moving parts that work together.
And you're thinking about different things now, right?
Yeah.
Rotate your model a little
That was
bit.
sick. That was a good one.
Especially with
That
your
was a good one.
guns.
I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but you know what? It actually synergized so nicely.
Stuff going into
Yeah.
there.
Not bad.
A little
Not
bit of
bad.
a turn, and
That was
suddenly
fun.
you're
Thank
tucked
you.
into the reset.
And Omar, you're alright? I know it was a bit of a beating for you.
Yeah,
But you are
didn't roll
definitely
well,
on-
but yeah, it was good.
The dice didn't help, but I think I
but yeah,
haven't played this matchup myself, but I think maybe at the end of the day you were playing maybe a bit too passively.
I think so, yes. I always have, and that's my problem. I never go at it just because I'm short,
darkness, death,
Yeah.
is what?
Oh,
and I don't have much of a range of weapons, so that's why.
Yeah.
And I have Rendon.
But once the psychic, once you start like getting the psychic off, it really messes my guys up.
Yeah,
Like my Melta guy was 1 more attack. Like by the end, it was actually way more even.
Yeah.
If you think about it, this guy's 1 shot. He's 1 shot. He's
That's why it's really
wounded.
good if you roll like
It was a lot more even than it shows.
yeah. But I should have played a little bit more aggressive at the start.
Yeah.
Hey, Brendan.
Because you want to be like run into me, come
Yeah.
around and find out, right? Me, I wasn't so scared to run into him because I got
Abilities. Yeah.
angles now.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't finish him off. Get charged.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, come on. I won.
You're
4.
You're 5 on 3.
In terms of placing this wire as well, you can place it a bit more optimally. So what you can do is you can grab one of your opponent's models with permission, or even one of your models, and you can measure the gap here, and you can say, okay, I want it placed so you can't move through this gap without having to go over it. So now you've closed off this gap as well. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously it has to be 2 inches outside of the door, so it would probably have to be rotated a bit like that. But now you've cut off both sides, whereas like this, you're only cutting off this side.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't kill him, you free fight again.
Yeah. So your parries. So here's what I think is going to happen. Let me just.
That too is not.
I'm not gonna lie, I hope for next edition, like these tokens, I just want something that I could put on the base and just, like a switch, engage, just, expand it,
So you could
unexpand it.
3D print like switch bases.
Your choice.
Same with the cards, man. I'm like, did I get all my cards? Did I mix them with his?
Yeah.
Like,
He'll do 4 to
you know?
I did 4, so I'm down to 8. So I'm going to crit you.
You're down to.
Any other questions from the game?
4. I'm down to 4. So crit you.
you know what? Usually after the game, my head is just like, that was
Got to take some time to think it through and be like, what happened?
a little bit, yeah.
Fiddle back.
You did 10
I think we're getting the grasp of it.
Yeah, you guys are asking good questions. You're doing the right things,
pushing through 4.
thinking things through.
Knowing that he
Yeah,
has
I think it's just about experience.
he's
Yeah.
fighting first, he needs even just a normal to finish you off.
You know, to think you just started playing like earlier this year.
Yeah.
He's still, you haven't done any damage back to him, but he's still at a point where he needs 2 dice to kill you.
Why do you choose not to take the fearmonger
Giving
this
yourself
time?
It was just recommended not to.
Yeah.
I read somewhere online there was like this post,
Yeah.
and someone translated from Spanish to English.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, for like marine matchups or for elite matchups, they're like, you can leave this guy at home, take these guys. So I just said, okay, I'll try that.
Yeah.
I thought I'm like, maybe I'm at a disadvantage with this guy who's got the scope pistols, he has range, he has that. And then I kind of thought it was interesting, he could define all the objectives and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
That seemed kind of cool. The
Then that gives him
turret
some poison.
Yeah.
So for example, if you were to run up to this one, you know for sabotage he has to try and tap your home. So you can poison it. So if he gets all the way up here, he's probably taking some damage by then. And then if he touches it, he's taking 2 d3, and then another d3 when he activates.
Oh, yeah.
So average of 2, 2, 4, 6. That's like almost half his health just from poisoning an objective. Or you can play it even more aggressively and you can recon dash up here, reposition, poison his own objective and then dash back.
I was thinking about something like that, especially for sabotage, right?
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing too, is getting our head wrapped around the
Crit ops.
crit ops.
Pain tokens are you
'Cause
allowed to spend?
let's say this is the first time I played sabotage.
Likewise.
So
One invigoration.
we're just getting used
Yeah.
to that stuff too, right?
And it's quite a different crit op as well.
Yeah, it's like, like I'll use video games again as an example. It's like you play a game mode,
Yeah.
probably 20 times, die, reload, respawn into another queue match. You play like 20 games in like 2 weeks, a week. You get experience, you know that game. Like this, we're playing maybe a game or 2 a week, different, there's like 9 crit ops.
Yeah.
You maybe play 1 every time.
Next turn.
It takes time to get used to them, right? So,
Okay.
but it's good, honestly.
Yeah, you've killed 2.
That's really good.
You guys are going 2 for 1. So far, it's been pretty good, I think, for both of you. So you're poised to score more points, I think, off of.
My last action will be I'm gonna charge.
When's the next tournament you're participating in?
2 weeks time, I want to say. Yeah, not this weekend, next weekend.
Is that the one in the States?
He's not
That is Chimera's monthly, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think the weekend after that is the one in the States.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you have 1 inch of horizontal.
Don't know what I'll take.
Don't get in the
Yeah, bring it out the team.
It's not a good place to be.
You can.
Did you see this team online?
No, even a reposition doesn't. You'd have to come and use the accessible.
So I finally finished the roster, so I've got a couple of guys who are not painted yet.
Did you guys finish?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it is time.
Patriarch? Yes,
I've
sir.
never seen him feud.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Let's finish up this turn.
Maybe since I think the best one.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah, please do.
I think they're gonna drop.
He's not done.
I'm
though.
sad you're not playing in
Can you
the
move
next
over
narrative
and
league.
get eyesight?
I don't do for that matter.
Yeah.
Just time.
If
I
you're
want to try and
dead
free
center,
up my
can you
evenings
kill
as
that?
much as possible. Work is been very hectic.
Yeah.
Just trying to give myself
copper wire looks perfect.
Got to finish off his backpack.
He's got like the welding spool, you know? This is massive.
He's got 21 wounds.
Why is this guy from the...
He goes with these guys. He could be the leader. He's a 4 APL model, and you can activate him twice in one turn. But you spread the APL across the boat. So it can be like charge fight, next activation charge fight with him again, or you can pass with him and then do 4 actions with him. He can mind control people.
Wow. That's what I mean. I haven't even seen half the teams like fielded either.
So you're looking at
That's wild.
14 damage.
We don't say it.
That guy really messed up your day.
Save a crit and hit. You're at 7 health.
Yeah. As anyway.
Should hurt again.
No, you got her. Just on the mark.
Oh yeah, you do went up only.
But you get a bunch of different leader options, because you can have the Patriarch, you can have the Magus, you can have the Primus,
And then none of my guys can really do anything.
or you can just choose the regular leader that comes in the box. And so if you just choose the regular leader, you can take like 2 Psychic Familiars and 2 extra Troopers.
Right, right.
If you take either of these guys, they count as 2 selections of your 3. So you can also take an extra Trooper or the 2 little Psychic boys. This guy's cool though. He, a valid target for him, he does 2 damage, or 4 damage if you want to 6. And then you roll, and if you roll above their APL, you do it again. Up to a maximum of 8 wounds.
Score 2 on your attack off.
You can look at someone and just stun them.
Are you doing
And then the bonus, while he's alive, everyone on the team ignores injury, ignores piercing.
So
Doesn't matter what the range.
Doesn't matter about the range. As long as he's in the kill zone, piercing doesn't matter, injury doesn't matter.
Hide him the whole time.
Yeah.
You can do one
Or just stick him up on advantage and go, okay, minus APL, mind burn that guy.
Yeah.
Do you feel the picture?
Very rarely. Very rarely. I did once on the weekend just because I wanted to try him out. But I think in that matchup, the makes it very good.
You have to choose between the Magus and the Patriarch?
Yeah, so you get 3 points for your leader. Patriarch counts as 3.
I like having
Primus
these.
counts as 2.
Yeah, they're
Magus
nice.
counts as
I picked them up. I said, you know